Not the Scotty.
Yeah. Like parts of the Irish coast.
Western Isles. Yeah.
And parts of northern Wales. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, that's what they came over from, isn't it?
Mostly Ireland and parts of Wales.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Take it away,
It was an
Mikey,
Irish
man.
kingdom in it was an Irish kingdom in South West Wales.
It was, yeah.
Celebrates its 20th anniversary this year, and it's fair to say that in that time it's seen its share of drama, but it's unlikely that anything will compare with what's coming. In just 2.5 weeks, Wales will be heading to the polls for what's expected to be the most important election in a generation. Tonight, 6 politicians will set out why they think they should run Wales. Live from the Senedd here in Cardiff Bay, welcome to Wales Decides, the debate. Good evening, I'm Adrian Masters. Over the next 2 hours, the leaders of the 6 largest political parties here in Wales will try to win your vote on May the 7th. Tonight, I'm joined by Anthony Slaughter from the Wales Green Party.
Yes.
Preen ap Iorwerth from Plaid Cymru. Welsh Labour's Eluned Morgan.
The Baroness.
From the Welsh Conservatives, it's Darren Miller.
Boo.
Who?
From the Welsh Liberal Democrats, Jane Dodds.
Oh, bless her.
And from Reform UK Wales,
Egg.
Thomas. Thank you all for joining us
Look at him.
for tonight's debate. Before we get going,
Egg.
here's a reminder of the campaign so far.
This is a national mission. This is a mission to transform Wales.
Woohoo!
Wales needs ambition.
Egg.
Wales needs action. Wales needs reform.
And I'm going to keep using the English because it's in an English party.
Is a historic election for Wales.
It's the punk rocker.
We are going to deliver that hope that we've promised.
People in Wales are crying out for change. Today,
Who's this guy?
we give them hope that it can be delivered. Because that is what our manifesto is a plan to deliver.
That's the Reform guy looks like an egg. The Tory guy looks like a Doctor Who alien.
Built on fairness, you can feel.
Fairness, you can feel. It's such a stupid slogan.
Wales stands at a crossroads. This
God bless her.
election is a choice about what kind of
I wonder if she gets lonely.
Fucking gods.
He looks like a Santarin.
Goodness me, it feels like lives flashing before us. Tonight, all of the subject areas that we'll be talking about are based on our most recent poll and the topics that you want the next Welsh Government to prioritise. And all of tonight's questions come from members of the public who contacted us over the past few weeks. And we start with the question on the cost of living, which in our poll 51% said was the most important issue. And Emir from Llanelli asks, the increase in basic living costs has been significant and in many cases unsustainable. What specific measures would your party introduce to support people facing increased financial pressure? So we start this particular section of the debate. We've drawn lots to decide who begins each one, and it's you, Preen ap Iorwerth. What would you say to Emir from Llanelli?
It's a very good question from Emir, and it doesn't surprise me at all that this is the subject that so many chose as being the most important to their lives on doorsteps throughout Wales. I hear stories of people genuinely struggling, and it's important to remember the latest thing that has affected that, and it's Trump's war in Iran, something that, of course, Reform eagerly supported. Yep. But we have to think what measures that we can use. Many of the levers aren't in our hands, and of course we put pressure on the UK government to help with fuel costs, heating costs for homes and so on. But there are measures that we can take too. Immediately, the Plaid Cymru government would extend free school meals to secondary schools, children and families receiving universal income, building on the free school meals in primary schools.
The
that
Jack
only
Miller
exist
has turned
because
up.
of Plaid
Hello, the
families.
Jack Miller.
Oh, hey,
You
Jack
would
Miller.
spend £400 million on
That's what that.
childcare,
And
wouldn't you?
the childcare offer is very much seen as part of that cost of living.
But it has been
response.
questioned where that money would come from, how you would pay for it.
Well, the money has been identified. It's a significant amount because it's a significant problem, and we see people paying more for their childcare costs than for their mortgages. But whether it's on freezing prescriptions, keeping them free as they are now, which Plaid would do, and keeping bus passes free, capping bus fares and and so on. There are many things that we can do immediately, which a Plaid Cymru government will.
Elena Morgan, you're the incumbent party. You've been Labour has led the Welsh Government for 27 years. What would you do to alleviate the cost of living?
Well, there's no question about it. There's a lot of people who are suffering across Wales with the cost of living, and we know that the war in Iran is not helping the situation. It's very unpredictable in terms of what comes next. And that's why it is important for us to, I think, make sure we take a broader picture as well. The best way to make sure people can pay their bills is through making sure they've got quality jobs. And so jobs is critical here. And that's why one of the things we're doing is making sure there's a lifelong retraining guarantee. But I accept that what people want also is practical support.
A great deal of tonight will probably pick up on the fact that you have a record to defend, and it's been mixed, to say the least. How can people trust that you will deliver those jobs? I'm just thinking about your promise to create 100,000 apprenticeships. Well, originally it was 125,000, then you've been criticised by the regulator for using that figure. How come if you can't meet that target and you've had to change it,
it's the magic gun tree
to reach other targets?
or magic
we were
ship
promised
tree?
not a penny less as a result of Brexit. That's why that number had to come down, and we have created 100,000 apprenticeships. Some people left. About 8% of people left before 8 weeks. It's very difficult. You can't force people to stay in an apprenticeship.
The point is, you've made a promise and you haven't kept it.
Well, we've created 100,000 apprenticeships. But if you don't mind, what I would like to say is that actually, since I've become First Minister, we've delivered 50 million free school meals. That has helped families £600.
Michael!
That has saved them every year. And we will go further. We'll also make an offer in terms of people on universal credit. And also make an offer on childcare that is affordable and deliverable and help people with insulation in their homes.
I'm just going to quickly go to... This has to be a quick answer because the accusation is that it's not affordable.
Yeah, probably the only way they reached that figure on apprenticeships is by moving the goalposts, and it's been Labour's story all along.
But I just want you to answer
reach a target,
I just want you to answer that point, and then we're moving on.
Well, I make that point. Labour has had its time. Every time it's missed its targets, it's just changed the goalposts.
All right, okay. You're not going to deal with that particular question, but Dan Thomas, Rhys Aberworth did accuse Reform of supporting the war, so perhaps you would want to answer that. But also, I want to hear what your answer is to Emir from Senedd.
So we support our
solidarity. Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. He did Farage definitely supported this war at the beginning.
Yeah, and so did
there are
Kemi.
videos. Yeah.
Whoever she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having bad jobs.
Badger Bobs, yeah.
action, particularly against states that threaten Britain's security, and Iran has not hidden its dislike for Britain, and indeed many terrorists planned terrorist attacks have originated from Iran. So we were right to support action there. We will defend Britain's interest.
Okay.
On the cost of living.
Oh, look at the wee titchy Tory.
It is important that we hear both sides.
But the Welsh people are overtaxed. We believe that council tax should be the increases in council tax should be controlled.
It's a tiny Tory.
Councils are increasing council tax by 6, 7, 8, 9% year after year, and we would bring in a cap on that, and we would also cut income tax in our last year.
You said you would cut 1p off all income tax bands. That's going to cost about £371 million.
That's right.
How would you pay for that?
We've identified £375 million worth of savings, so we would scrap all net zero
austerity,
all net zero subsidies. We would also merge quangos,
Let's make Wales a big, burny, crispy place. Let's just set it all on fire, shall we? Christ, I'm having a kid soon. I'd actually like there to be a country left, to, you know, so that kids
might be
grow up in.
Yeah, that might be an idea. Oh, hydrate. Hello, my dear. Supermod's here. Hi, Shanna.
Oh, hi Shannon. Well done for your interview.
Oh.
Crown goes in-house to save £135 million, and we would also have civil service payments.
$24 an hour, not bad,
You
my
have to do
dear.
that every year.
Yes, that's
Talia.
right.
Yay.
We've got until the last year of our term to make that cut. So we've got 3 years to identify those
if you're going
savings.
to find £371 million every year to pay for your tax cuts, you have to find those savings year after year after year.
That's correct, but we can reduce the amount that the government spends by £370 million. The BBC says they can save £500 million. I'm sure the Welsh government
sounds a bit like Porky Pig then, didn't he?
That's 1.5% of its budget.
I'm going to jump around because although we'll come back to Darren Miller because he's also promising a tax cut, so we'll come back to there. But Jane Dodds, the Welsh Liberal Democrats, you are not promising that there will be a tax increase, but you say you are willing to look at that.
Yeah, that's right. So just to come back, if I may, to Emir's point, really important on the doorsteps, this is what we're hearing all the time. There's an immediate issue here with the war in Iran. Illegal, absolutely, reckless, supported by both the Conservatives and Reform. What we want to see is that £20 million a day, which is going into the Treasury right now, going into people's pockets to pay for their fuel and their diesel. That is obscene that our bankers and our traders are making money from this war in Iran. It needs to go back to people. But just to go back to your point.
What the fuck? Liberal Democrats always do this. They always do this, and they end up fucking, you know, getting in bed with Tories and ruining the economy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so frustrating. Like, it's clear they know who's at fault, but then will they ever do anything to fucking fix it? No.
Correct. Yeah. Most of the time,
like
before.
She's a likable person. That's the annoying thing.
She is. She seems nice. But at the end of the day, she's still Lib Dem.
Lib Dem, yeah.
She is still a Liberal. Like most of the time before the SNP started dominating Holyrood and stuff, it was usually like Lib Dem Labour coalitions that happened up here. Because the Tories are such, don't get me wrong, they got more popular as devolution, we got more powers and stuff. But the Tories are still seen as bastards up here. So they've never been in coalition or in power here in Scotland, because who the fuck wants to admit that we voted for the Tories up here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
So it's usually Lib Dem coalitions, but our Labour, like Helena said, for all intents and purposes, they're fucking Tories up here. So terrified, are they?
They keep, at a local level, they keep working with the Tories, don't they, in Scotland, so... Yeah, well, unionist parties, eh?
Great name for them.
I think it's astonishing that Reform and the Conservatives are saying they want to cut taxes and protect public services.
You're right, Jack.
They are absolutely...
Jack Mello.
It absolutely doesn't add up if you, year on year, you're going to be freezing those wages to our civil servants year on year. So where does that leave them? Well, they're straight away going to be going into poverty. But let me come back to the point that you asked me about social care. There is a crisis right now in social care. 1,400 people are in our hospitals and they don't need to be there. We can help our NHS by getting those people out of hospital. What we've said
is their policy area du jour.
If the money isn't there for
fix social care.
Yeah.
It's the same up
I
here.
mean, it is what needs to happen. They're not wrong. That's the problem. We do need to fix social care in order to fix bed blocking. To clear up space in the NHS. They're not wrong.
Like the SNP tried to get.
You know.
The SNP did try to fix that up here with the National Care Service, but they had to get the councils on board, and quite a lot of them are in control of either the Tories or Labour or coalitions thereof. And they got told by the upper echelons of the party, meaning Westminster, tank it, don't let them get any sort of win. So all the Labour run councils or the Labour and Tory administrations essentially for the councils tanked it.
Yeah.
Just for being not allowed to win nationalists.
Yeah.
Like, so all the ones that are SNP control, they were fine with it. They said, okay, this is what we need, this is what we would recommend, and stuff like that. But the Labour and Tories never went in with good faith because who'd have thunk
No. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the Lib Dems here have had their share of controversy in the last week or so because the Lib Dems have come out and said they won't form a government with any party willing to go for independence, which means they're working with Plaid and Greens essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, let's crack on.
The government is, if the money isn't there from the Senedd budget, then we will ask the Welsh people to pay a penny in income tax for a fixed period of time in order to address this crisis.
But that's not going to help the cost of living, is it, if you're putting the cost of living up?
We are already paying for this through our council tax bills. We are paying for social care, and this is ensuring that it's ring-fenced for social care and helps our NHS.
All right, okay, I will come now because...
Another
major blocker to this, right? Well, another major blocker to this is all local councils have had, all local council budgets mostly go on temporary accommodation for people that they have a duty of care to.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of council budgets go. Like, 70-80% of council budgets end up going on temporary accommodation because we've got no social provision for that. So, council run B&B style accommodation wouldn't be a bad thing, really.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't be funneling all this money into, like, the hands of Serco and whoever else, like, private, landlords, basically.
Partly Serco and partly G4S up here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably G4S down here as well, to be honest. Like, those big outsourcing companies, anyway.
Well, that's the two main ones, at least, that operate up here. I assume they've got major contracts in the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Makes sense because we're talking about income tax, and Darren Miller, you have also promised a different cut. I don't want you to dwell too much on that, but if you can answer the same question that Dan Thomas was asked, which is how you would pay for that. But I do want to I will bring you back to Emma's question.
Well, we've made it absolutely clear that we will cut the number of MSs here in Cardiff Bay. We think that Wales needs more doctors, dentists, nurses and teachers.
The only fact I know about this guy is he went to a prayer breakfast in the White House under Trump.
What?
So that's all you need to know about this guy, really.
I didn't know that. Fucking hell.
Yeah. And Kenny Badnock doesn't know who he is, but that's okay because nobody knows who Kenny Badnock is. So.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
That's a one-off saving.
Well, it's an
Who?
annual saving, actually, because over the next 4 years, that's going to cost the taxpayer in Wales at least £80 million. We want to roll back Welsh government bureaucracy, which has increased by 160 million.
In before solar-powered canoes or gender-neutral tree planting.
60 million in the central services costs each and every year over the past 3 years. So that would save over £600 million over the next Senedd term. We want to close those mini embassies around the world, stop spending money on Amazonian canoes, solar-powered canoes, and stop transplanting trees in Uganda so that we can invest in our public services here. And if I may say so, the only jobs that have been created by Labour, Plaid and the Liberal Democrats are these extra politicians in Cardiff Bay. I think that's unacceptable. We should focus...
Why aren't the Welsh allowed more democracy? Like you're allowed to stuff the Lords with fucking billions of dickheads. Ridiculous. Oh, I won't be up.
Yeah.
Focus on getting people back into work, off benefits, and we also need help with energy.
The largest employer in Wales is the public sector. Well, actually, it's the third sector, but they're all employed by the fucking. It all ends up. All roads lead to fucking the Senedd at the end of the day.
bills. Focus on getting people back into work and how you would help the cost of living. What can you tell Emir?
So let me tell Emir this. We want to get Emir's taxes down. We want a 1p cut on the basic rate of income tax to save the average hard-working family £450 a year. We do want a cap on excessive council tax increases. We also want to extend our free childcare offer, which includes an option to pay grandparents. Okay. And in addition to that, we want energy bills down, and that's why we support...
Oh, because the fucking boomers aren't already getting enough. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like I'm starting a fucking generational conflict here. But the Tories are quite happy to pay grandparents to watch children, which, like, I don't not support. But the second you mention, like, child benefit for a third child, they go up in arms. This is fucking, rage then. Like, I don't dislike the concept. I think, yeah, fine. Hey, grandma and grandpa for looking after the kids. Great. But, like,
support the plan for cheaper energy by getting that oil and gas out of the North Sea, getting those excessive tariffs which are being added
well, you
to
don't
our
have
bills
any control over those. That's
we don't,
not part
we
of
want
this
to work
election.
with the UK government.
Yes, tax higher.
Anthony Slaughter, what would the Greens do to help prioritise the cost of living? Is your focus on the environment likely actually to make things more expensive for people?
Firstly, thanks to Emir for the question, and I will answer it because I don't think Emir has actually had an answer to his question about the cost of living crisis. Cost of living crisis is an emergency. It's real. People are hurting out there. We all hear it on the doorstep. We know what's going on. And we need to remember the things that are going on. People paying over the odds in rent, working precarious jobs, paying exorbitant rents for homes that are often uninhabitable, damp and mouldy homes. 1 in 3 children in Wales living in poverty. These things didn't happen by accident. These are the results of political decisions. So what we do is to tackle the cost of living crisis instantly. I mean, you have to work on that. The environment is behind everything we do, but the things you do to tackle the cost of living crisis impact on that as well. So we would start by freezing rents, leading to a cap on rents, rent controls ultimately. We would bring in free bus travel for under 22s and £1 bus ticket for everyone else. We would replace the unfair council tax with a land value tax, making it fairer, making the wealthier pay their fair share.
Land value tax.
We have to address this.
Yes.
Inequality is destroying our communities. Without a safe, secure, warm home, you can't build a life.
Won't a freeze on rents actually backfire, or potentially backfire, because there's some evidence that actually it puts landlords off investing in fact, they take their houses off the market altogether?
I get this raised quite often.
Pause, please.
But we actually had rent controls in the United Kingdom up until 1988 when Margaret Thatcher got rid of them. They didn't affect the rental market. What's affected the rental market is not building enough affordable social homes. That's why we're pledging to build 60,000 social homes in the next 10 years.
And is that something you can sign up to, Leonard Morgan?
We've delivered 20,000 social homes.
Well,
and
only just. You didn't deliver it in time.
Well, we're going to deliver it by November. But listen, that was in the face of massive inflation. I think it's been an extraordinary effort. But the real issue is the demand and supply. You know, there aren't enough homes. I think it's really important that we look not just at social homes, but also at the private sector, getting the private sector to invest a lot more. And that's why we're suggesting 100,000 homes between the public and private sector absolutely need to be created. But that will...
Look, home building is happening in Wales, right? Like, there are new developments all over the shop. My sister lives in one, my mum lives in one in just outside Cardiff. There's one being built literally just up the road from me. I know, because they keep fucking cutting off my water so they can connect them up. Like, it's not like homes aren't being built. It's just the wrong type of homes. And the Baroness here going on about more private investment doesn't help. If people can't afford to buy the houses that have been built, they don't matter. They're useless. They are superfluous to me. Like,
with the help of...
I don't understand. Like we recognise there was a housing emergency. Why don't we do what we did after the Second World War, and build fucking prefabs? Prefabs were great. People loved prefabs.
They did indeed, and they lasted longer than they thought they would.
Yeah, I used to go to drum lessons in one in the early 2000s.
What the fucking hell?
Like,
wow.
Yeah. Like they lasted for ages.
With the help of the based Maggie Chapman, praise be Maggie, a decent Maggie for a change, and the SNP, we have rent controls up here, and ALAP. Just no, Eleanor, no more private landlords. No.
That's enough now.
Yeah, we've managed to get rent controls up here, and obviously no Section 21. So no fault, no fault evictions or anything like that, and we're dealing with Airbnb bollocks as well.
Yeah, I mean we've got the second home tax already, so that kind of tackles the Airbnb issue.
Yeah, that's good.
Because they basically pay higher council tax on the second property up here, or down here, I should say.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Sweet.
Evening to Vinya. Right, Anne, I'm going to hit go again.
Nice one, Jack.
Again, is job creation. You get your plasterers, you get your bricklayers, you get electricians. All of those people then
Darren Miller
will be able to help.
I just didn't mention the plumbers.
For the cost of living.
With every respect, most people want to own their own home. They don't want to be permanently renting property, and that's why we've got a clear policy.
Honestly, Tory dickhead Darren Miller, people don't care, I don't think. People just want a place to live. Like, they just want a roof over their head that's stable, that they can, have a family in.
Yeah.
To introduce a stamp duty scrap on all main homes. We think that that's good for the economy.
Most people don't pay the stamp
But it will
duty.
help people move up and down that housing ladder, get mobility in the housing market, and absolutely all the plumbers and the electricians and the carpet fitters and the kitchen fitters and the other tradespeople who will be engaged every time there's a house move will help our economy get better.
Okay, no, let's
the housing ladder is a pipe dream to most people, especially young people. Yeah. You've got to get the housing market working, and you do that by getting fair rents.
We've got the Help to Buy programme as well, which has helped people just to start
There's also
off.
evidence that distorts the market as well.
Well, it helps people to get on the ladder, and I think that is important for people.
Dan Thomas, very quickly.
And there's no evidence that Wales retaining it has actually increased house building. What we need is a fast-track planning system to get these houses built and to deliver the houses that people are waiting for. Whether it's rent or to own, we need to build more houses.
Okay. You've got 10 seconds. You've got 10 seconds.
Let's talk about
Do you want to say something then?
It isn't frozen on my end. That's weird.
Try refresh it then, yeah?
No, it's working for me, darling. Sorry.
Yeah, I just paused it, literally. But
homes. What people want is a home. And Plaid Cymru says, let's have legislation to give people the right to have a home. That's the fundamental
Thank you all. We have had a flavour of your differences and some places you agree on. Thank you very much. That was time for a quick break. When we're back, we'll be moving on to the topic of healthcare. Join us for that very shortly.
Confidence and supply deal with the Greens, honestly. Is this going to just be like loads of time?
Welcome back to Wales Decides, the debate. Next tonight, we move on to the important topic of health and social care, and our health question comes from Steve from Llanfyllin in Powys. Steve asks, the NHS in Wales is in a bad state. More needs to be done to improve healthcare. How would you fund improvements? And we start this time with Anthony Slaughter. Anthony Slaughter, how would the Wales Green Party pay for things?
Well, first, we've got to look at the problem. I mean, it's absolutely right to identify the problem. The NHS is in crisis. The hospitals are crumbling. Staff are demoralised and underpaid. I've spent far too much time in recent years on picket lines with nurses. Nurses and health care staff should never be in a situation where they need to go on strike. So we need to look at funding. Now, we will never stop demanding the money that's owed to Wales from Westminster. That would go a long way to addressing this problem. This crisis has been caused partly by decades of austerity from governments of both colours at Westminster. But we're in the here and now. We have to deal with the health service as it is with the current budget.
And you say that you would immediately end corridor care. That's a bold statement, isn't it? How would you do that?
Well, corridor care is absolutely unacceptable. It is bad for patient safety. bad for patient dignity, staff morale and staff safety. And part of the problem with it, this is part of the problem with the whole issue, is it's not documented. We don't have the data. So what we would do is introduce that a corridor care instantly becomes a never event. This is what the RCN are calling for. That means once you start measuring...
That's a kind of jargon term which affects how it's recorded.
It's not jargon if you're sat in the corridor for 48 hours in the chair. We need to know how big the problem is so we can look at ways of tackling it. There are immediate measures, such as reducing bed cutting, allowing clinicians to work on the weekends. It's vital. I mean, I think often there's pushback on how could you do that? How could we not do this? Because it also frees up resources further down the line in the NHS because it creates bad health outcomes. That's why we're looking at as well moving resources under existing schemes from secondary care to primary care. So we have GPs, dentists and community health centres in people's communities. Cutting problems off at the source saves so much money further down the line.
Dan Thomas, what is Reform's prescription, if you like, for the NHS?
Well, you asked about how you'd fund relieving the waiting lists, and we've identified up to £40 million that you could save relatively quickly by shutting down those overseas offices, the vanity projects abroad, and also reforming how we spend money on agency nurses. So in total, you could save £40 million there relatively quickly to divert to the front line.
That wouldn't pay for the NHS for half a day.
To the front line.
Which is actually... Was that Elena Morgan saying it won't even pay for the NHS for, what was it, half a day?
Well, look, 40 million, it's extra money. I wouldn't scoff at £40 million. People are fed up of their money being sent abroad. They'd rather it be spent on Welsh nurses and Welsh hospital beds. That's what we're saying. We'll close those offices down. That's £9 million. That's not to be scoffed at. In addition to the waste on agency nurses as well. That's £170 million pounds, and we can save on the margins there as well.
I don't want to be too distracted by this, but both you and Darren Miller have talked about overseas embassies. They are, aren't they? They're single people in other embassies.
But they cost offices, they cost money, they have grants on all sorts of weird and wonderful things. And we have UK embassies abroad anyway. So yes, we will shut those down.
They are in the UK embassies. You clearly don't know how it works. They sit within the UK embassies.
They spend money on planting trees in Uganda.
Oh, here we go.
All right. Well, Elena Morgan, quickly answer that.
Did they do the gender neutral trees? I think they did the gender neutral trees. So there was a...
Oh, it's Helena went live. Okay.
Right.
Oh, my pills there.
I do want to focus on that.
0.001% of the entire Welsh budget.
Okay,
needs to be spent in Wales.
What about the? Let's not get bogged down in the detail of what they're saying. But the point is that you have You've been distracted,
actually,
and you spent your money.
I do want to talk about the tree planting in Uganda. So, in Uganda, the reason we plant trees in Uganda is because guess what? It's sunny in Uganda, and trees grow really fucking fast there because they've got like the right climate for it. So it's like a carbon sink essentially, and that's why they plant trees in Uganda, because it's pointless planting trees here.
Yeah.
If you could do it there, like it's not pointless, but you know, you may as if you can do it there, you may as well do it there as well.
Yes.
Plus, it was sort of attacked into culture war guises because it's mostly women that it empowers to do like the tree planting over there.
Ah.
Like it's all women groups that do it.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's great.
Yeah. So it's like good on two levels. A, it's like a better carbon sink because trees just go faster nearer to the equator, I guess. And yeah, it's doing like gender equality stuff, which is always good. So
yeah, that's good. I like that. Like we're the one that happens up here the most. Obviously, we can be doing more renewables and stuff, but it's peat bogs, peat sequestration. So you know what peat is, don't you? So we can expand how much peat we can. It's like we capture all the carbon dioxide into peat bogs, essentially. Mostly in my shire of Perthshire, there's peat bogs in Perthshire that they're expanding on, and parts of it's mostly the east coast that they've done them in. So yeah.
All right.
It's good.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay, go again.
Cool.
From the UK government for health on other things.
That we spend more than 50% of the budget on health, and we're unapologetic about that. Listen, it went through the mill during the pandemic. And it's, the fact is that 2.75 million people have an appointment in the NHS every month in Wales, in a population of 3 million people. Right. At one point, if you don't mind, 1.6 million people see a GP, the equivalent of 1.6 million people. This is a huge amount of work. It is working for the vast majority of people, but I recognise that more needs to be done, and that's why we'll be building new hospitals, £1 billion on new hospitals, one in Cardiff, transformation of the one in Wrexham, one in West Wales. We'll be offering a 48-hour guarantee to see somebody in the primary care team.
Yeah, somebody is not a GP necessarily.
It's somebody in the primary care team, and don't scoff at that. These people have
just want to clarify.
Expertise.
All right, okay.
But if you don't mind, also,
well, I do need to bring somebody else in.
Women's health, for me, is absolutely central. And I said when I came in that I would open women's health centres. Right, okay. We've had 18 months, and they are open across Wales. That's something I'm terribly proud about. On top of that, there will be same-day mental health support.
Okay, Darren Miller, the Conservatives say you declare a health emergency. Yes. What use is that? That's just more talk, isn't it?
It's not more talk. No, we need to pull the ripcord. The NHS in Wales is in a crisis situation. There are not enough beds. We would surge those beds so that people don't have to be cared for in corridors and cupboards.
What?
You know, according to the Royal College of Emergency
and the Welsh people are going to trust you with the NHS?
Yeah, like, I don't, as far as I could throw him, and I don't think I could throw him back in him. He's not very short, but he's kind of wide, you know?
Yes, kind of wide, isn't he?
People last year alone died because of corridor care, because they were waiting in excess of 12 hours in our emergency department. So we need to fix that, and the only way to do it is by having a laser focus on it and pulling that ripcord to declare a health emergency.
Your party's never run the NHS here in Wales, but it has been in charge of the NHS in England, and there more patients than ever before are waiting, over 6 million patients on waiting lists, and yet you say that the NHS in Wales is in crisis. In crisis in England, crisis that has been managed by your party.
Let's be absolutely clear. You are hundreds of times more likely to wait for 2 years plus for treatment if you're a Welsh patient than over the border in England. That is not acceptable. That is absolutely not acceptable. And let me tell you, we're paying hundreds of millions of pounds in clinical negligence claims. We have an army of newly qualified nurses, paramedics and doctors that can't get jobs, and yet we're spending a fortune, a small fortune, on agency costs.
All right, then, while we're on the responsibility side of things, if we like, Rhun ap Iorwerth, you are criticising Labour now, but your party has been in government with Welsh Labour and had a cooperation agreement, so you have to bear some responsibility for the problem. Well, even actually the structure of the NHS, when that was done when Plaid Cymru was in government.
Yes. Health was not a part of the cooperation agreement because we did not agree with Labour's approach on health in Wales.
When your party was in coalition.
If you want to go back 20 years ago, when there was still a Labour health minister back then, listen, we have a choice on the future of the NHS in Wales. Nobody trusts, of course, reform because of the confirmation last week by Dan Thomas that the party on a UK level does indeed want to privatise the NHS. Well, you did on a programme last week. You said you're going to try to reject doing that in Wales, but we know Nigel Farage is the boss. And nobody believes Labour anymore. And Lynyrd Morgan, of course, has been a central character in the demise of the NHS in Wales. Right. We have got to find a way to put it on a sustainable footing, and that's what Plaid Cymru's policy is about. Yes, an injection. Well, we've never run health in Wales. We need that injection, which Plaid Cymru would put in first in the first year, but we need that sustainability.
How much are you going to put in?
Over 100 million in the first year, additionally. That has all been accounted.
Oh, has it now?
All has been accounted.
The 400 million
but
for childcare.
Through independent assessment that says that this is deliverable.
400 million extra next year to pay for everything. You've spent that several times over.
I'm sorry, but nobody believes Labour anymore.
All right, okay.
On health.
No. I don't want you to hog the whole debate. And you did make an accusation to Dan Thomas, an accusation that I would say has got perhaps some evidence behind it, because Nigel Farage has said that private insurance is on the table. It's something that he would consider at a UK level. You can understand the confusion. Perhaps this is your chance to clarify.
Well, first of all, this pretend Punch and Judy show will be over after May. These two have been working in government in the past. They'll try and do so after the election, so you can't trust that. Of course, they're very keen to talk about the English NHS, but in
modern parliaments run on cooperation agreements. Like, this is the norm in Europe. Like,
it is, yeah. That was the original design, by the way, I think for both of us, mostly for to be coalition governments, essentially, to run the devolved administrations. Because God forbid the nationalists should get in charge.
Wildly different.
Oh yeah, that is legally drawn up that it has to be to so you've got the Unionists and you've got the Republicans, essentially. That literally got baked into how Stormont got set up. It's a little bit more formal here. So if we get a majority, like Plaid for you, SNP up here for me. Oh, I'm having to choose to not leave local polls as they're now. How many councillors do you have? Praise be John the Brazen is in the chat.
Yeah.
Hello, John.
How many do you have? Right, I'm gonna go again.
In Wales, I have full powers over the devolved policy areas in reform, and I've always said it will remain free at the point of use, and prescriptions will remain free as well. And that is our UK policy as well. Now our party leader in the UK may have said stuff in the past and been taken out of context.
Do you know what
how do you take? I think we should move to an insurance-based model out of fucking context. Jesus Christ, that's
yeah, that's pretty explicit. Free at the point of use, paid out of taxation. Insurance model. They're two different fucking things. You can see that all you fucking once. 9 total, but 32 greens. They're predicting.
Well,
I liked your I like your Facebook post, and it says that you could get 26, I think. So John's running for council down in Bradford.
Oh,
crossed.
Best of luck, John.
That in Wales, the NHS will remain free, and so will free prescriptions.
Right, okay.
And these are just desperate lies from a party that's running scared and bears the responsibility for the health service being in an absolute mess in Wales.
Dan Thomas's problem is where the power lies within his party, Nigel Farage. Again, we want to get rid of the Senedd, then try to stop party
I want to bring this back.
Again, that's not going to happen.
Let's bring this back to the question and how you would improve things. So if you can focus on that now that I've given you
absolutely. So look, an independent report, the Sloman report, was published last year, and I was the first politician in these debates, to bring that up. It's been brushed under the carpet.
I commissioned that report.
Yes, you commissioned the report because you didn't know what to do. Quite rightly, you very belatedly in this term. You commissioned an independent report. We need to implement those recommendations and report back to the people.
Thank you. You've made your point, Jane Dodds. What will the Welsh Liberal Democrats do to improve health, and how would you fund it?
Yeah, thanks. Let's get back to Steve's question, because this is what happens in the Senedd all the time. We just hear kind of people throwing things at each other, but we need to look at some solutions, don't we, here? We're really clear that this comes up on the doorstep all the time. People can't get a dentist, they can't get a GP. I want to pay tribute and I want to pay credit to our health workers. We cannot undermine the value that they give to everybody, and I hear all the time, once people are in the system, they get an absolutely fantastic treatment and a really good journey. So we've talked about it. We're really clear and we're upfront and honest, and that's what people want from their politicians. They want honesty.
So you mean the tax pledge? You would increase taxes to pay for it?
We are clear that social care and healthcare go together. And if you can keep people out of hospitals, and if you can get them out of hospitals quickly, then actually that's going to help our health service. We're being really upfront and honest with people. We're not about cutting taxes because we think we need to protect our public services. We need extra money in our budget, and if we can't get it any other way, we will raise our taxes by a penny.
And Anthony Slaughter, it is important. I've heard what you've said in other debates and interviews about costings, but it is important people have some idea of where you would get the money to pay for these things. So how would you fund improvements?
Well, as I've said often, the manifesto isn't a budget document. It's our priorities and our direction of travel. But of course, people need to
should have some sort of...
yeah, we do have
it should
ideas.
be realistic. It should be deliverable.
Absolutely. It also has to be ambitious after decades of failure. So we have costings for the things that we know as short-term priorities. So, for instance, the free bus pass, free bus travel for under 22s costs about 59.2 million. The £1 bus ticket will cost 256 million. We've got those figures because those things are deliverable in the shorter term.
So what about the hundreds of millions that would be required to improve the NHS and cut waiting lists?
Well, this is the issue. It goes back to the fair funding issue. Wales has been shortchanged for so long, it must get the money it's owed. But at the same time, we have to work within the existing budgets. And I've said some of the things that we would do for that. But then other things, we're offering free school meals for all secondary pupils. That will help with healthy issues. Housing will help with health issues. You've got to look at this. It's not... And to put a manifesto before the public and say this is a comprehensive spending plan in every department for the next 4 years is a fool's errand. People have talked about the war, and it's a fool's errand in a world that has Putin and Trump.
But that's not going to bring your manifesto, which you say is a blueprint or perhaps an opening to negotiations. That's not a concrete plan to bring waiting lists down. That's what people want to see.
Well, we are talking about bringing waiting lists down by moving that money from secondary care to primary care, by including more preventative measures. All of these things will bring the costs down. We have to start from that premise.
Darren Miller, talking of costs, you say you would immediately reopen closed wards. Do you know how many of those there are and how much that would cost?
There are plenty of them in community hospitals, the length and breadth of the country.
Would staff them?
There are plenty of them in our existing hospitals as well, where the numbers have been reduced down. You know, a third of the beds have been taken out of our NHS since 1999. It's no wonder we've got a catastrophic scene in our emergency departments as a result. So we need to reopen those, we need to surge those. We did it during COVID after an emergency was declared, and we can do it now.
So there you go, Leonard Morgan, the solutions have been laid out to you. Why haven't you listened to them?
Look, I think a lot of people want to have that care in their home or in their community, and that's the shift we've been making over the past few years. You know, my mum suffered with Alzheimer's until very recently, and she was cared for at home, and in her dying days the house board came to her. That's happening across the country, and that's how it should be. People don't want to die in hospital.
And I'm sure,
they would rather die in their own home.
But they are dying in hospital. That's the problem, and that's why we need to accept that there's a crisis. You refuse to accept there's a crisis. I accept that there's a crisis and we need to fix it. That's why we're working so hard. No, we're not. I've just given you tangible decision making.
You just told me you're going to
take that anybody could take in order to.
All right, okay. Let's bring the staff. Let's surge those beds.
I've just said you could shrink the agency budget overnight by employing all those newly qualified paramedics.
Thank you very much. Let's
teachers.
bring this section to the end because we have to go to the breaks that pay for us all to be here. We'll take another quick break. When we're back, we'll be looking at the topic of immigration.
That's not very long. Couple of seconds.
Should have served
I'm not even going to bother posting it. What was that, Katie?
That's a reserved matter. It's not
What is?
devolved to either of us, immigration.
Oh no, I know. It's ridiculous.
Why do they keep on bringing
Welcome
this
back
up?
to Wales Decides, the debate.
Fucking dickheads.
Our poll showed that tackling immigration is the third biggest priority for voters. It's important to say at this point that none of the people here tonight will have any control over it. That remains in the power of the UK government at Westminster. But all parties have a position on it, and it's clearly important for the voters too. And our question in this subject area comes from Sue in Llandyssil, who asks, we have young people without homes and services on their knees, while millions are being spent on making us the nation of sanctuary. Would you change this? And we start this section with Dan Thomas. Dan Thomas, I have a feeling I know the answer to the question, but what would Reform UK Wales do?
Absolutely, we would change it, and we want our money spent on those who live in Wales, who work in Wales and have born and bred in Wales, and those who've lived here for a long time.
And I think before you go on, I will just say that the nation of sanctuary is a blanket term for the support and resettlement of asylum seekers here in Wales. It's cost in the region of £68 million over the years that it's been running since 2019, and 90% of that total has gone to supporting Ukrainians. So just to get that information there, and the UK.
Well, you say it's been spent on Ukrainians, but there was a headline recently where it was discovered that 3,500 people who came on Ukrainian visas were actually from the Middle East and Africa. So that's the problem with immigration. There's no transparency. We can't see where these people have been dispersed.
Do you have any evidence for that?
But on the matter, well, it was in the Telegraph. It was a Telegraph headline. So have a look at that. It was well researched. But this is the problem. You cannot find out in Wales where asylum seekers have been dispersed. It's all been done by stealth. There is no fairness there. And quite rightly, the person who asked the question is spot on, because we have 90,000 unemployed people in Wales. We have 30,000 young people aged between 19 and 24 who aren't in education or employment or training. They're the people we should be investing.
Done by stealth. It's a reserved matter. So if you want to check out the numbers that are getting sent to Wales, you have to ask the Home Office. You literally have to go to Westminster and ask them. They can give you those figures. It's not getting done by stealth because
where they've been placed.
Yeah, they've said the same thing up here as well, and it's infuriating. No, it's not getting done by stealth. It's getting done by Westminster. I'm sure you can find out the numbers.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find out the numbers, but you shouldn't be able to find out where these people have been placed anyway. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're fleeing things,
Yeah. Being able to push back on these bastards is a good thing. Just what you're talking bollocks. Fucking hell.
Investing in, not bringing people from overseas.
Can I just ask what percentage of people in Wales are born outside of the UK? Do you happen to know that?
I don't, but that's the point, and that's
6.9%. Let me finish. 6.9%, according to the Office of Immigration, are born outside of the UK, and your party is stoking division. You are stoking hatred. You are stoking fear in those people, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
All we're saying is this is the problem with the immigration debate, Adrian. We want to have a very, very sensible, rational debate about immigration. And we know it's low in Wales at the moment, and we want to keep it that way because we've seen what's happened in England and in English cities. And we do not want Cardiff or Wales turning into that. And you can't have a rational debate without being called a racist or stoking fear. And I think you find that people watching at home who have valid concerns about immigration, it's a top 3 issue. As soon as you start saying to them that they're stoking fear.
Let us try to keep this rational, and let's try to keep it to
it becomes too emotional.
The point about the nation of sanctuary and how that works, because that is something the Welsh government has.
What the fucking
come off it. Seriously. Oh, the other one. Jesus Christ.
Responsibility overall, or has a decision-making.
Clyde wants to devolve immigration to the Welsh government. So that's a very frightening thought.
We'll come on to that in a moment. Anthony Slaughter, the Greens would strengthen support for refugees, asylum seekers and migrants. Why do you see that as important? And do you accept what Dan Thomas and I guess Darren Miller would say, that acts as a draw?
No, I wouldn't accept any lectures on immigration or nation sanctuary from either of them. The Wales I know, people I speak from the doorstep, are better than this divisive rhetoric. We're a welcoming nation. We need to understand the concept of nation sanctuary. These are people that the UK have said can move to the UK, and then Wales has been allocated a certain amount of those to integrate and educate and bring into the communities. That's what it's about. It's a programme. People on that side of the panel would say things like, these people come over here and they don't integrate. That's exactly what the nation of sanctuary is for.
While you say that, our poll clearly shows that people are concerned about
people are concerned about immigration, and as you rightly point out, that's separate from the nation of sanctuary, because none of us will have any control over immigration. But when I go on the doorstep and someone raises
how do you meet
immigration,
those concerns?
people say to me they have concerns about immigration. When you have those conversations with them, when you listen to them, one human to another, it turns out that they're worried about housing for their children. It turns out they're worried about the health service.
So there are no concerns?
Immigrants aren't driving that. If you meet an immigrant in the health service, they're probably the person looking after you. They're not in front of you.
All right. Rhena Bioworth, as Dan Thomas mentioned, you do have a policy to devolve powers over migration and asylum. Why do you want that? And is that because you want, as reforms say, to increase migration to Wales?
The example I give is we need more students from abroad coming to our universities, for example, and we don't have those powers over visas. I think it would be a good idea for the health of our universities and our future economy if we were able to bring more people in.
What sort of system would you want? If you had the powers, would you an Australian-style system?
No, I'm talking about sub-state visa models that you have in places like Canada. But if I can address Sue's question, the problem problem that we have with housing is not because of people coming in, it's because of a lack of social housing. It's a lack of houses being built. It's the same within the NHS. People tell me, the NHS's problems are because of immigration. They're not, and we would be stuck without workers from elsewhere working within our NHS. But let me tell you this, Reform have made it their business to stoke divisive rhetoric over immigration. It was roundly rejected in Caerphilly. Our job is to make sure that we roundly reject it again. Wales,
well done,
Thomas. Just quickly respond to that because I need
based, absolutely based. Why don't you fuck off home on the Reform thing? Lives rent-free in my head. I love it. Fantastic. In fact, even recently, let me see if I can find it quickly before we carry on, just because it'll be a nice thing to show. So they did it again. It got hit again. No, yeah, there we go.
Oh, right.
So see the sticker?
Yes. It's like the people of It's like the people of Caerphilly don't like Reform. Who does think it?
Yeah. Who does think it? Anyway.
I need to bring other people in. But
we're just voicing the genuine concerns that the general public have in Wales about immigration. It's a top 3 issue for a reason, and Reform is the only party that is reflecting that concern. And all the other parties want to say it isn't a problem because they've all been part of the problem. We're the only people standing up for the majority in Wales.
Two words struck me. Very quickly. Those people were the words used by Dan Thomas to describe people fleeing persecution, fleeing war. Think of our values as a nation, and let's have a discussion based on
these
fact,
asylum
not
seekers.
All
right, a lot of them are economic migrants. They're not fleeing war. They've left their families behind, and they've come over. They're young males. They've come over. They've come over because they know we are a
I don't want it to become. I don't want
people who'd fled here from Afghanistan. It's for them.
I don't want this to become a
Spex.
What?
Oh, it's the scary military-aged males.
Oh yeah, definitely them. Most definitely them.
A straight conversation just between the two of you, and Darren Miller is standing in between you, and a lot of these accusations have been levelled at the Conservatives in the past. So how do you respond to the accusation that by focusing or using some of the language that you've used, you've stoked up the debate?
Well, my issue is this. The Welsh Government gets a block grant to spend on the issues for which it is responsible.
Some of which is resettling migrants.
And immigration is not a responsibility of the Welsh Government. It's something that the UK government should be funding. I want to see every pound of that nation of sanctuary plan money invested instead in our public services. And let me be clear
Would you send people back to war zones?
Let me be clear about this. Wales is a nation which has offered people a home when they're fleeing persecution, when they're fleeing war. That's absolutely right. But we also know that there are many people making bogus...
Why don't you want them to have language services, Darren? Why don't you want them to have... why don't you want them to have help integrating into the community? Because that's what this is. This is a public service. This is still a public service. This is still money being spent on Welsh people.
It is, yeah.
Indirectly. But, these will become Welsh people once they've integrated.
Yeah.
Or they might go back home. But that doesn't matter, because they while they're here, this helps Welsh people. I'm sorry.
It does, yeah. It does help Welsh people.
Asylum claims. That's featured in the media even this week. And what I don't accept is the nonsense that we've heard from the Plaid Cymru leader in the past when he said there's no such thing as illegal immigration. Of course there is. People are arriving...
It isn't. It's irregular. It's arriving by irregular means. It is not a crime to arrive by irregular means. It is a crime to overstay your visa. That is a crime. But it is not a crime to arrive by irregular means.
That's irregular. It's like they don't have any safe or legal routes. I wonder who caused that, Darren.
Oh, I wonder, Mr. Miller, I wonder.
On British shores illegally. Yes, he has said that.
Did you say that?
People smuggling is illegal. Outstaying visas is illegal. People aren't illegal, Darren. And this is a man who passionately spoke in favour of the nation of sanctuary
migrants. I know you don't accept that it's illegal to enter our countries under false pretences, but that unfortunately is what's happening. And every pound that's spent
it's not entering
on
under
illegal...
false pretences, it's entering under irregular means. Travelling over on a boat is not illegal. It is if you are not an asylum seeker and intend to stay, but you know.
Illegal immigrant or someone that's making a bogus asylum claim, that's a pound that could be invested in our public services.
Anthony Slaughter, very quickly, then I'm coming to Elena.
Just very quickly, yeah, immigration is a high on the list of concerns. People are talking about it, and the reason they are is because your two parties keep stoking hatred and division by exaggerating it. You're taking people's anger and despair, anger that they have every right to feel at the situation, and you're directing it at other people, some of the most vulnerable people on this planet.
All right,
you both should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank you, Anthony Slaughter. I want to bring Leonard Morgan and then Jane Dodson. Leonard Morgan, was it a mistake perhaps to badge the nation of sanctuary? Was that virtue signalling that backfired? Because effectively it was something that you had to do. You were doing it on behalf of the UK government.
I'm not going to apologise for the fact that 91% of that money is spent on settling Ukrainians who were fleeing a war. And it's teaching them to speak English. Some of them are working in the care sector. Lots of them are contributing now to our economy. And that is something that we should recognise. The NHS is held up by people from other countries. That's something we should celebrate.
We have 30,000 people, young people unemployed in Wales. We should be training and investing in our own people. We're not, because they're unemployed and they have been for some time. We have record levels of youth unemployment. We have our own people that we should be investing in, and that's what the people of Wales want.
They're not trained as consultant haematologists where you have to go across the whole world to find these experts. The key thing, I think, is to make sure we get a balance. It's got to be compassion and control. Let me ask you something, Dan, if you don't mind.
Can I come to Jane Dodds and you can come back to this question?
Dan, how many asylum seekers are housed in hotels across Wales? How many?
At the moment, it's a low number. We don't know how many have been dispersed across Wales. We don't know how many have...
Look at the Baroness family are in a nest, so then... Oh!
have been dispersed across Wales.
The answer is zero.
And across the UK, 5% of the Welsh government equivalent is spent.
All right, okay. Thank you.
£5 billion a year is spent on so-called asylum seekers. We could be spending that on our own NHS.
Fuck me, is that all? Is that all? Jesus, we are really not pulling our weight. Fuck. Sorry, rest of the UK.
So don't worry about it, Spex.
Though.
Don't worry about it. England's doing the heavy lifting with that one.
Yeah.
Not raise concerns where there shouldn't be any.
Okay, the actual figure is 74. Jane Dodds, do you? There's nothing in your manifesto about immigration or migration as such, but you do say that you previously said that you wholeheartedly support the nation of sanctuary. Do you still?
I absolutely do. And look, I get very, very passionate about this because I know people from countries that have come here that risk their lives to get into a small boat. Nobody wants to get into a small boat. It is the most perilous thing you could do. And the top 5 countries that people arrive in small boats from, let's remind ourselves, they're all war-torn countries. Eritrea, Afghanistan, Iran, Sudan and Somalia. They are people terrified about what's happening, and they come to welcoming Wales, and I believe that Wales is a welcoming country. That's our badge of honour, and you can't do that down. And you try all the time. You find a way of doing down the Welsh people, and you find a way of doing down the Welsh people, both the Conservatives and Reform. And I don't believe they're like that. And one of the biggest issues is not about people coming into Wales. It's about our young people leaving Wales.
I agree with that.
That's what we need to focus in on, and that's what Sue asked.
You've made specific.
We can do both issues there. We can protect people who arrive on our shores because they're seeking safety.
All right, Jane Dodds, you've made specific accusations to both Reform and the Conservatives. So a quick response from each. Darren Miller first.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear that the Welsh Government should stick in its lane as far as its responsibilities are concerned, and the same should be the case of the UK Government too. And
is the Welsh language not one of the Welsh government's concerns then, Mr. Miller? Because that the Nation of Sanctuary is like teaching Welsh. So.
And what we have here is an attempted power grab by some political parties that want to stray out of the devolved settlement into matters for which they're not responsible. That
fucking expanding Welsh democracy is straying out of the devolved settlement. Fuck off. Oh, I hate Conservatives. We are not, like, this isn't, like, chiseled into stone. Fucking hell.
That's not acceptable. I think that money should be spent on those public services.
The point that Senedd Morgan is making is that the Nation of Sanctuary is teaching English, it's resettling, so just to
let's be clear, UK government's responsible for immigration, not the Welsh government.
Yeah, but the Welsh government has anyway. Dan Thomas,
they want respect for the devolution settlement,
the Welsh government does have a role. It has to resettle. It's doing it on behalf of
that Nation of Sanctuary, it actually drives people risking their lives by small votes. Of course they do, because we're saying we will, no matter how you come into this country, we will they're breaking into this country, they're economic migrants, and they're taking advantage of our good nature.
We don't even have the right to determine how many people come here. So you just
deal in facts and evidence.
You can spend that money on Welsh nurses and Welsh hospital beds.
Right, okay. So blaming immigrants won't fix the NHS, it won't build any more homes. What you need is serious leadership and compassion.
And at this point, just to remind us all that this is the UK government that is taking these decisions, as Senedd Morgan was saying, and the UK government that has the power over migration and immigration. Rhina Beorworth, something that has been said by Reform is that there would be a surge under a Plaid Cymru government in immigration. Is there any truth in that?
Based on what?
Based on the fact that you said there's no such thing as illegal immigration, that you see no borders. Quite clearly, you don't want to control our borders.
What are you talking about? I know you're saying the leader of the Welsh Nationalist Party doesn't believe in borders. What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure he believes in the borders of Wales. That's fucking ridiculous. What a fucking wild accusation.
That's mental. That's mental.
He's an internationalist, sure. But, you know, he wants Wales to be a global nation that can stand on its own. That doesn't erase the Welsh borders.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Most of which are a fucking coastline. Like, my God.
And a beautiful looking coastline it is. And a beautiful coastline it is.
It is. It is a fucking beautiful coastline. I just wish we owned it.
Yeah, I want you to own it as well. Yeah.
I know you really want to ramp this up. I know you want to really ramp this up. I want to talk about humanity, I want to talk about facts, and I want to talk about the fact that in this election there are no powers over migration in Wales.
And yet, the Welsh Government does have power over what we're calling the Nation of Sanctuary, which is resettling.
Not 5% of the entire Welsh budget. It's tiny.
It's a global thing. It's about cities of sanctuary. It's about helping people integrate, which I thought is what you wanted.
Can I just say, I guarantee
you don't believe there's
no family. I guarantee that there is no family in Wales who doesn't know somebody from Ukraine and doesn't see the fact that they are being supported through a fund in terrible situations where they want to go home, and most refugees actually want to go home. And it's shameful that you are using that, and
Scotland
you are doing down
people
Wales
fleeing Ukraine as a result of the war.
We've got to finish
and they haven't got a Nation of Sanctuary.
We've got to finish there. Thank you very much. I hope, Sue, in Llandyssil, you got the answer you're looking for. Not sure. Let's take a quick break. When we're back, each leader will have a chance to
just
ask
because we didn't call it a Nation of
choice.
Sanctuary doesn't mean that we're not doing that.
Exactly, yeah.
Stick to. I would say stick to Wales, but he's essentially an English politician at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just because we didn't call it a nation, just because we didn't call it a Nation of Sanctuary doesn't mean that we're not treating these people with care and being welcoming to the people. And at the end of the day, they get dropped up here by the British government. There's no like we pay for these services as well, like to help them integrate. They don't need to learn Broad Scots if they don't want to. Christ, there's people here in Scotland who struggle with it, for fuck's sake. So if they want to learn Gaelic, they're more than welcome to.
Yeah. I mean, there's actual services to help them, especially if they've been plunked in like Welsh-speaking communities. There are then services to help them. They just speak Welsh, so that's good. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it really. Like, I think it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
Help people integrate.
Yeah, it's good. And it's like Arun said to Darren. I thought that's what you just wanted, for them to integrate.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
They've been shy in that up till now. You won't want to miss it. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back. Now, in this part, rather than debate a particular subject, each leader will get the chance to ask another a question of their choice. The order's been selected at random, and we start with Eluned Morgan. Eluned Morgan, who would you like to ask your question to?
I'd like to ask my question to Reen. Can you promise the Welsh public that your £400 million childcare plans won't be paid for by taking money away from the NHS, from refusing public sector workers like teachers, nurses and bin men a decent pay rise, or by cutting support for the poorest families in Wales?
Yes, I can confirm that the £400 million, which is at full rollout, of course, in the last year of a Plaid Cymru government, is all accounted for within the programme that has been judged independently to be achievable. Challenging, of course, as you'd expect it to be, but achievable. I think the struggle that Labour has now is that on something like the childcare offer, it has failed so badly to deliver on its ambition, which was at such a low level, that it is scrambling around to attack Plaid Cymru for the level of ambition that we are setting. The maths is there. The challenge that I have, of course, is in finding the workforce, and we are confident that we have those plans too, because we can talk about the money or we can talk about the outcome, how this affects people, and that means by having those people there in communities the length and breadth of Wales, giving children the best start in life and helping with the cost of living crisis.
Of course it's achievable if you make cuts. But you have to be honest, I think, with the public about where those cuts are going to come from. Let me just make it clear. Next year, there'll only be about £400 million uplift in the entire budget. So all of that will be going on.
No, this isn't the final year. This is 4 years from now.
So just so people are clear, this will not come into fruition until the final year. You'll be making millionaires who need childcare support will also be supported. And let's be clear also...
Oh, hold on there a second, Baroness. It's that a Labour official fucking talking against universalism again? Can they stop doing this, please? Like, universalism should be a core principle of any Labour politician, surely. Well, I mean... Fuck, have I just travelled back to, like, the Corbyn era? Jeez.
Yeah,
but
or quite possibly back to the 70s.
Ridiculous. They should be ashamed of themselves. I bet fucking Bevan is spinning in his grave. We need to figure out how to strap magnets to him and put a big coil around him to extract the energy. But
yeah, that would, that renewable energy, just keep on pissing off the founders of the Labour Party across the land. We'd be able to power the entire UK, let alone Wales or Scotland or England.
That the money that we, for example, spent this year on giving an increase to public sector workers, that cost about £350 million. You've got no money earmarked for that. So people in Wales will not be given a pay rise next year if they're
quick comeback. You have to make it quick.
Eluned Morgan is in the disadvantaged position of not having understood what our childcare offer is. It's ambitious, but it's achievable because we need to deliver this for families the length and breadth of Wales.
All right, okay. I thought this section was going to give me a rest. Clearly not. Now we move on to Jane Dodds. Jane Dodds, what's your question and who's it for?
It's to Reform UK. Nigel Farage backed Trump's war with Iran. Conflict pushes up oil prices and Welsh families pay the price. Why does Reform want to scrap net zero and keep us dependent on foreign fossil fuels instead of backing Welsh renewables that cut bills and create jobs?
Well, the premise of the question is incorrect. We want to back British energy, homegrown energy, so we want to fast track the implementation of clean green nuclear, and there's some sites in Wales where that can happen, and we can do that through the planning laws. And as First Minister, I would want again to speed up the...
I wouldn't call nuclear clean when you've got to deal with the waste. I know the new small modular reactors are a little better on that, at using more of the fuel, but still, you still have a waste problem. So to call them clean, they're a little bit they're better than coal or gas.
They're better, they're better than fossil fuels, but not they're cleaner than fossil fuels. They're not completely clean, obviously. Yeah. Plus, that's why I keep on. That's why I keep on screaming. That's why I keep on screaming. Just do more fucking renewables, especially tidal. Yeah. Both of us, because of our coastlines, and I can't remember if there's a whirlpool. So the tides, there's that lovely silvery moon in the sky, which basically controls our tides. So you've got tidal charts that that goes into the future, fucking centuries ahead of us. So that is the essence of renewable. That is just I can get tapped. Do tidal.
Planning system to enable that to happen. We also want to do more drilling in the North Sea and get our own British oil.
Get wrecked.
That'll be done by private companies, not us. That's not going to make us any money. It's going to be sold in international markets, and we can't use it for our own shit. There's no point. Leave it in the ground.
Pumped out British gas as well, because quite rightly we do not want to be depending on foreign countries who are hostile to us for energy. In terms of the Iran war, let's remind everybody that Iran does not like Britain.
Yeah.
We buy most of our fuel, most of our gas comes from Norway. Last time I checked, I don't think they're hostile.
No, I think they're all right.
I think Norway's quite friendly.
Most of our gas did come from Russia.
Yeah. So
most of our gas did come from Russia previously, though, before Norway. So
yeah.
And has been sponsored some terrorist attacks and terrorist planning in this country, and therefore selective. I want to answer the question. And therefore selective action, which is what Reform favours. Bearing in mind this is not a devolved matter.
Reform UK are absolutely doing away with environmental concerns. You just want to drill, baby, drill.
Read our manifesto.
You want to drill, baby, drill. You want to absolutely put nature and diversity aside, because we believe, actually, that if you look after nature, our rivers and our beaches, they will look after us. But actually, your approach is the opposite.
Our manifesto has the Wales Rivers Act in there, where we want to clean up our rivers and our shores, absolutely. And you can have two at the same time. You can focus on the environment and have homegrown energy. That's what we want. And what's happening?
Is your water, is that publicly owned, or is it private?
Non-profit, not for profit.
Not for profit, all right.
Yeah.
So not as bad as England.
I mean, the water boss is still on a fair chunk of change. You know.
I couldn't remember.
And
Thank you.
They're still polluting. They're still polluting like fuck. So. Yeah.
Ours isn't too bad.
I mean, I'd rather it be. Yeah, you've got the best water in the UK.
We do. Yes.
Our drinking water is fine. It's good, but you know. Yeah. The rivers are all fucked though.
Happening in Iran is exactly why we need to drill more oil, why we need to drill for more gas, and why we need to have clean green nuclear. That's exactly why.
Green nuclear. I mean, yeah, you might be glowing green.
Why? We need to have energy security in this country.
Specifically is about why you are doing away with the net zero targets. Why?
In one
If you believe that,
because
then
renewables are unreliable, they're expensive, they've been subsidised for too long, and they are making energy bills. They are making energy bills more expensive.
Pause there, but stay on standby, because Dan Thomas, it's now your turn to ask a question to your chosen leader. So who do you want to ask it to? And what's the question?
So, Adrian, I would like to have a calm, reasonable chat about immigration, if that's possible, with the rest of the panel. But at the moment, it would be with the leader of Plaid Cymru. So, Plaid Cymru in their manifesto wants to devolve immigration. They talk about visas and things like that. And I'd like to say, I think we all agree that, of course, we want to keep our young people, ideally, in Wales to have careers if we can. Absolutely. We need to stop the brain drain. We all agree on that. We all agree that we should have limited amounts of immigration for those skills shortages that we need. We agree on that. But how will you achieve this devolved immigration power? How will you actually achieve that? And when you have achieved it, will you see immigration go up overall or down?
A couple of things that you're guilty of, both Reform and the Conservatives, are to account for the situation that we're in. If I could just answer the question, we have two things coming together. We have migration and we have Brexit too, because we have the situation after Brexit where we have shortages of people working in various sectors, and given that the UK government is failing to take the measures that would help us, for example, whilst we want to train our own people up to work in social care, it's very useful to be able to bring people from abroad to support our social care staff too. I've already mentioned universities and the need to bring in more students, but the UK government's post-Brexit rules on visas make it impossible for us to do so. What I'm saying is let's have a sub-state visa rule in place. They have it in Canada so that we can set those nuanced needs that fit Wales's situation.
Does that answer your question,
Wales into the UK?
We've got 30,000 young people in Wales that need to be invested in.
Yes.
And I'd ask you, Reid, is it ethical? You talk about bringing people from other countries, health workers from other countries. Quite often, those countries are poor countries, and they've trained up these health workers, and we are poaching them. That, in my opinion, is immoral. And should we be doing that when we've got 30,000 young people in our country that we can train?
Okay. You've got a quick time to answer.
Very quickly, our priority will always be to train up our own young people.
You don't just press a button like in the Matrix and you learn a new skill. It takes time, especially in the medical field, to train professionals. Now, I would agree in principle with a Reform Eggman here. That we should be hiring homegrown people first. Sure, in an ideal world, yes. But we don't live in an ideal world. And there are skills gaps, as is one, as is the turn of phrase. So, yeah, and people want to move around the world.
They do,
fact for the Reform types in this life, but people do want to move around the world. I'm quite happy where I am, but
countries.
Let him answer.
But alongside that, people move. I know you don't like it, Dan, but people move across the world. People move from country to country. Where that happens, let's see how we can benefit from that. Use the skills of people who want to come to Wales.
Pause a moment, but it'll be like nothing's changed. And I assure you, we do these at random. It's your turn now to ask a question. Let me guess who you're going to ask the question.
I'll throw it back at Dan Thomas of Reform.
I'm very popular tonight.
Reform's position on global affairs, I believe, is damaging to Wales and goes against Wales's values. Farage's support for Trump is well documented, and his war is taking a devastating economic toll. Also well documented is your opposition to the package of support for those fleeing the war in Ukraine, as we've discussed this evening. Now, children fleeing that war were given a new life here in Wales. Many now speak Welsh, that language that Nigel Farage called a foreign language, but this is their home now. I'm proud that our communities opened their arms to women and children fleeing Putin's bombs and bullets. Why aren't you?
So in terms of international relations, the First Minister has no powers over foreign policy, and yet here we are debating foreign policy. I'm very popular tonight, Adrian, because we are the challengers in Wales, and the establishment parties here are running scared. So on international affairs, as First Minister,
you were a fucking Tory head of a council. You are the establishment. You fucking prick.
Unbelievable.
I know, it's just, words don't mean anything anymore.
Apparently not, no.
I mean, I guess establishment's not meaning shit when people like Jacob Rees-Mogg started using it as a pejorative.
What are you on about, you haunted Victorian lamppost? Just
pencil, yeah.
Or pencil. There was one of the, it was, I think it was someone Scottish who said haunted Victorian lamppost. I think most people have said haunted Victorian pencil.
Pencil.
The first one I heard was haunted lamppost. Fucking hilarious. Love it.
Or MP for the 1860s.
Oh no, the honourable member for the 18th century.
Yeah.
Or the 19th century.
And I will focus on the day job. Unlike these parties here, I will focus on the Welsh NHS, Welsh education, Welsh jobs, the economy. And I will not get worked up about issues going on abroad. Now, of course, Iran and what happened, Ukraine, it has affected fuel prices, it has affected food prices. But people out there did not vote for us to talk about international issues. They voted for us to sort Wales out.
Let's give Rena Beale a chance to come back.
Fascinating. You know, people call me a separatist. Yes, it's Reform and the Conservatives and Labour who are obsessed, it seems, with pulling up the drawbridge and stopping us as internationalists from playing our part in the world. That is what I see as Wales's future.
You've got short
time. Well, of course, you want to be President of Wales under an independent system. We accept that we are part of the United Kingdom and we elect a United Kingdom government to deal with foreign affairs. And that's how I see it. If as First Minister, I will focus on the issues that...
Stop making the case for independence, please, Mr. Reform fucking Eggman.
Issues that matter in Wales, the NHS, education, jobs, here in Wales, because the Welsh people have been forgotten for far too long.
But never Welsh values.
Our random algorithm, which was drawing lots out of an envelope, is now bringing us over to this side, and it's Anthony Slaughter's turn. Anthony Slaughter, what's your question and who's it to?
Thank you. It's for Labour, for Eluned. Rents have risen fastest in Wales in recent years. Yeah. It's driving child poverty and stopping people from saving to buy a place to live. Labour could have controlled rents years ago. Why have you let private landlords rake in profits off people's backs?
Senedd Morgan?
Well, we've seen what happens to rent controls, and there is evidence to suggest that there is an unintended consequence. It actually reduces the number of homes available for people to rent, which then pushes, and once people move to a different place, the rent can go up. That's what we've seen in Scotland. The evidence is there.
Is that true?
No. Oh. Oh, be sure I will correct you here, Eluned. No, what we're seeing happening is that more of these properties, instead of having the control affect their bottom line, because it's an investment for the people who do this, and we're mostly trying to target corporate landlords, like ones who have hundreds of properties, and what they're doing is they're just dumping whole properties onto the market at a reduced cost, just before the rent control kicks in for whenever they started renting it out. So those properties are going on the market at a reduced price, so people can get onto the housing ladder. Yeah. So naughty, Eluned, naughty. You have to fully explain it. So
yeah.
That was Scott. Yeah. They keep on forgetting that was Scottish Greens. Annas has done the same thing with that policy. He said exactly the same thing as the Baroness. And we've turned around and said to him, no. Lots of properties are going back onto the market for younger people, young professionals to buy. Don't get me wrong, there's landlords who have stuck to it, right, fine. If my bottom line's if what I'm extracting from it is getting reduced, but it can still earn a little bit. Some of them are still keeping their properties with the rent control. So what? So it was mostly to force them to sell up, so the properties can go back on the market at a reduced cost.
Yeah.
And it's doing that.
Yeah, makes sense then. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate it when they do that one. Just
the key thing in relation to housing.
Naughty Labour.
I think is to build more homes, and we're proud that we've built those 20,000 homes by November, despite the fact there's been massive inflation. But we do need to build more. We need to build more social homes.
Is council housing getting built down there?
Private sector homes as well, and that will boost.
Not to my knowledge. Honestly, like, my partner lives in housing association Stark. Right, that's just an update. Let's ignore that for now. Skip that. And the housing, the quality of the housing stock is terrible. It's not great. No.
No, like some council housing's getting built up here in Scotland. Not much. Most of it's getting built here in Glasgow, oddly enough. Who'd have thunk that the biggest city keeps on getting bigger? It's where most of the economic activity happens.
All the houses in that estate I was talking about, like, I don't know, mile up the road or whatever.
Yeah.
They're all about £300,000. So, yeah, they're not exactly affordable.
Yeah, that is a bit much.
Yeah. But when you consider, like, you know, medium wage around here and stuff, it's not great.
Yeah.
Our ability to drive the economy, create jobs for bricklayers, for electricians, for plumbers. It's an operation that could fuel and boost the economy in every single part of Wales.
There's a chance for you to come back on this.
We obviously need to build more social homes. We'd all agree on that. Building more private homes will just feed the Wild West rental system out there for landlords. It always gets brought back to me that it will reduce rental stock. As I've said earlier, we had rent controls in the UK until the 80s, mid-80s. It didn't affect the rental market. The only people saying it will are the Association of Registered Landlords and the IFS bring it up sometimes. Both bodies with no reference and no evidence.
Well, the evidence in Scotland shows otherwise, and I think the key thing to remember in relation to housing is that we are trying to help people onto the first step of the ladder, making sure they have opportunities through helping them with their first ability to buy a new home. And I think
no, I'm going to have to bring you to an end.
No, I accept that.
Okay.
But the ultimate answer is you have it's about demand and supply.
We've got to bring that to an end because it's now time for Darren Miller. Darren Miller, what's your question? Who's it to?
Well, I've got a question to the Reform leader. Your former Welsh leader is currently behind bars, Nathan Gill, for taking bribes to make pro-Russian statements in the European Parliament. Why are you and Nigel Farage still defending a Reform candidate at this election who's made pro-Putin, anti-NATO statements on social media?
And before you answer that, if I can just say there's no suggestion that the candidate in question is involved in bribery or criminal activity. And he said that one message was a quip about a British politician whose video he was replying to.
So Nathan Gill is behind bars. He's a traitor, and quite rightly so, that he's been prosecuted and is serving time now. He was leader several years ago for a few weeks, and I'm glad to see the back of him. I didn't know him personally.
He was a Brexit Party leader for fucking years. What are you talking about? Like, I know you did a rebrand, but it's the same fucking party.
You're referring to about one of our candidates. I assume it's something that was said potentially a long time ago. But people have got you have free speech in this country. I certainly do not support those kind of views.
Darren Miller.
So why is there a candidate on the ballot paper at this election under a Reform label that has those views, if they're not views that you support and you're supposed to be the leader?
I've not seen the views you're talking about, Darren, I'm afraid. So I can't. I've not seen them. There's a lot of tittle-tattle out there when people have said things on social media in the past. I've not seen them. It's very hard for me to comment, I'm afraid. You should have been a bit more specific in your question.
They've been widely reported, as have comments by anti-COVID vaccine conspirators. We've got anti-monarchists as well on your lists too. And I just think that the quality of some of the people that you think should be members of this Parliament is unacceptable. Why do you have people like that when you're supposed to have a robust vetting process?
Well, interestingly, one of our candidates who stood down used to work for you and somebody quite close to you, and it was apparent that you and your colleagues held on to confidential information.
Gays are fighting
about them, and only released it when he left your
You'll
party
have to see
to
the
try
right
to
eating
for revenge for joining.
It's like the most delicious Ouroboros. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Num 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 num. My own tail. Num 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 num.
And you happily had him employed by you at the time. So, Darren, if I was you, I wouldn't throw mud on this issue.
Very quick response, please, Darren.
Well, let's be clear about this. You know, you have party members who have made pro-Russian, pro-Putin, anti-NATO statements. That's not...
To be fair, fucking Farage made pro-Putin statements when asked who he admired most on LBC that one time.
Yeah.
And he said Vladimir Putin.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable. You're a risk, I believe, to national security.
You've both made your points. Thank you very much. We'll take a break now. Some of us need it more than others. When we're back, we'll be discussing education in the last part of tonight's debate. See you in a bit. Welcome back to tonight's Leaders' Debate, live from the Senedd here in Cardiff Bay. We've spoken about the cost of living, health, education for the last part of the debate. The last part of the debate, we're actually going to be talking about education now. And our question comes from Mark in Abergavenny. Mark says, the vast majority of party policies on education appear to mirror past efforts. What is radical and innovative in any of your policies? How do they represent, says Mark, a transformative change for today's challenging world? Isn't it all just more of the same? And for this section, we start with Jane Dodds from the Welsh Liberal Democrats. What's different about your education policy?
Well, thank you for the question, Mark. You know, education is the greatest investment we can make in our children and actually into the future of Wales. So we want to provide free childcare, 30 hours a week. That's really important. That's a good investment to ensure that our children go into school ready for education, and we tackle child poverty. But two other issues that we want to introduce is a workforce strategy. You know, our teachers and our classroom assistants need that strategy, need that support, and we will introduce a school leavers guarantee, which means that any young person, as they leave school, within 3 months will have a clear plan which will allow them a pathway into education, into work, into an apprenticeship. That will be guaranteed for the first 3 months. You know, so many young people just feel that they're on a conveyor belt, that they leave school and they're expected just to go to university. But actually, we want to have a different way of looking at the individual needs of that young person.
Thank you for the answer, and I want to talk about all these innovative policies. But while I've got you, I do want to say, I've made the point to Elena Morgan, I've made it to Rhina Biowath and to Darren Miller, the responsibility
You'll see me vanish for a minute. I'll still be in the room.
It was a Liberal Democrat, Kirsty Williams, who introduced the new Welsh curriculum. She was an education minister in a kind of mini coalition with Welsh Labour. Your party's, if there are problems, your party's as much to blame as anyone else.
Look, I'm proud of the work that Kirsty Williams did as the Education Minister. She did introduce the new curriculum. You know, it has to have time to bed down. Kirsty also introduced the best opportunity for our young people going away to university in terms of a grant. She introduced that. That was part of the work that she did. So there, absolutely, I'm very proud of the work that Kirsty did.
So you stand by her work in government. Rhina Biowath, get you back to Mark's question, which is what's different and innovative?
Well, I think the innovative element is the universality of that childcare offer and getting young people from children from that young age ready to start school in a very, very good place. But we've also, I'm sorry, at a point where we need to strip back to basics. Plaid Cymru's foundational numeracy and literacy plan is about trying to get back in touch with that proud education tradition that we have in Wales. One of the first generally literate populations in the world, yet we find ourselves now at the bottom of too many league tables and PISA and so on. We've got to strip back to those fundamentals on our treatment of numbers and words so that our young people can strive to better.
And PISA, those international league tables which measure reading,
and it's not acceptable to have government after government and the Labour ministers not appearing to understand the seriousness of what that means for the life chances of our young people.
Darren Miller, you as a party want to fund schools directly and you want to allow academies and free schools, but there's to say the least, there's a mixed verdict on those schools which have been in England for a long time now. According to the LSE, it can drive up standards because of competition, but it also could increase social and academic segregation, and it benefits the better off families.
Well, actually, if you look at the evidence, England has been bounding up the league tables internationally, whilst Wales, unfortunately, is lingering at the bottom of the UK league table and the international league table. So we've got to do something more radical. We've got to restore discipline in our schools by backing our teachers. I think it's appalling that in Wales...
But that's not really to do... There's evidence that it's not to do with the structure of the schools and the free schools and academies.
I think parental choice is really important. At the moment, we have undermined choice in our education system here in Wales. That's not right, and we need to give parents access to the information that they need to make informed choices. So we want to make sure that people can access information online through a parental portal so they can see the evidence of the quality of the schools that they send their children to. I want to ask the same question to Dan Thomas, because you have a similar policy of allowing academies and free schools, but the evidence is not there that those are the solution.
Well, they're part of the solution, and you referred to England, and there's a lot of inner-city inequality in England, and where academies have been opened, that's where they've made the best difference and lifted standards in quite deprived areas that had quite deep-rooted educational challenges.
But isn't the evidence that actually it just benefits the sharp-elbowed middle-class family?
No, not at all. And it depends where they are and how they're set up, and actually diversification in the education system is a good thing. But coming back, we do need to get back to basics, focus on the 3 R's, and back our teachers with discipline.
Let me bring in Anthony Slaughter. And, Anthony Slaughter, if you can tell us what you would say to Mark about how you would do something different for schools.
Okay, well, just firstly to make clear, I don't believe there is any place for academies in our education system.
No place for academies.
We don't need any further drivers of inequality.
You've made that clear.
And I think that comes back to what will we do different. It's looking at our policies in the whole. So firstly, we have a generous childcare offer as well, because those early years are the most important. But if you're living in poverty, in inappropriate housing, and your parents can't afford to feed you regularly, no improvements to the education system are going to help your chances. You're going to be a disruptive force in schools. I speak to teachers' unions quite a lot, and obviously pay is a big concern, but equally concerning to them is disruptive children. And that comes down from the inherent inequality in our society. So on that, we need to tackle that at cause. Then we also need to fix the school estate, the school buildings. You can't learn in derelict buildings. And it's supporting staff morale. We're bringing a no-phone policy.
Isn't there, though, some evidence, and I don't want to speak for Dan Thomas and Darren Miller, but some evidence that parents do, actually what they want is standards to improve. Whether it's standards of behaviour and academic standards?
Absolutely, standards are important. I had one of your colleagues ask me about this the other day, and he said, quite incorrectly, he said, your manifesto talks about the need for education to be fun. Shouldn't our children be learning to read? Shouldn't learning to read be fun and engaging?
Yes, I mean, because you promise play and fun with eco-literacy, health and well-being education, food literacy and relationships education.
Yeah, we need to get our children equipped for the world they're going to grow up into. So they need to know about equalities, they need to know about nature. These things are vital.
Would it be a free-for-all?
In what way?
In that, if it's all about fun and relationships, then actually what parents want are academic standards. They want to see the PISA figures increase.
I'm not saying that the focus moves away from teaching people to read and write and do arithmetic, but you do that in a different framework, and you make education more attractive so people want to learn.
Okay. Alina Morgan, your manifesto promises, and I'm going to quote it from here, boost standards in our schools and have a relentless focus on excellence in literacy and numeracy.
I don't know enough about the academy system to comment on the academy system in England. So
It's right. I hear the word academy, and I think the academies up here are basically private schools. They're essentially fee-paying schools up here, but down there is basically these are privatized schools essentially. So they get the money from the government, and they can set the curriculum. They design the school unless they're taking over an existing school. They upgrade it or change it or whatever way, and there are certain things that they have to do for the national curriculum, but anything else that they can dictate what the curriculum is for the school. And it's private people who invest into the academy, into the school, and they can dictate what happens. It's the different model of a private school. But yeah, kids can still get, so it's still like a standard school. State provision, but they get to dictate what the curriculum is, which is terrifying.
Right. Okay.
See, why haven't you done that yet?
Well, we are seeing improvements in terms of GCSE results. We have improved and refurbished and built 330 new schools in Wales and colleges.
But these PISA figures are still very, very low. They're the lowest in the UK.
And they're 5 years old, and you wait until the new ones come out. We're very confident that they'll be in a better place. But you asked, Mark was asking about what's new. Well, we will have an additional focus on additional learning needs. There are a lot of people who need that additional support. And who are they getting that additional support from? Well, it's from the school support staff. And we will pay, we're the only party who is saying that we will pay school support staff throughout the year.
And you know, one thing that does get levelled at you quite a lot, and I expect I've heard it from Darren Miller and Dan Thomas. I'm not their spokesperson, but...
So I worked as an IT tech for a school here in the Valleys. About... Ooh, when was that? We're talking about... Well, no, longer than that. 13 years ago. Schools become corporations, buying out other schools. When my school became an academy and took over, the school standards went down because they moved all the best teachers to the other school. Okay, so it is like a full privatization via the back door of the school system.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's Yeah, I don't like that.
Basically taking public money and think of it as PFI for a school, which is mental.
Yeah, basically. So, as former support staff in schools in Wales, pay settlement was dog shit. Utter crap. Ugh. But, you know, at least there was lots of work to do. Anyway, carrying on.
Yeah, carry on.
It feels like this at this stage. Are you sometimes too close to the teachers' unions? It's very hard, for instance, to act against mediocre leadership.
I don't think the teachers' unions would agree that we're too close to them. The key thing for me is that we do drive up standards, that focus on literacy and numeracy, but also we're going to give a young person's guarantee. It already has helped 60,000 people. We're bringing that down to 14 years old and making sure that there's true parity between vocational education and academic education from the age of 14.
I saw that Darren Miller wants to come in, but then I'm coming to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, there are things we need to stop doing as well. We've got to stop this woke ideology nonsense, teaching kids that there are dozens of genders, and we've got to get back to teaching history, make people proud to be Welsh.
It's not 2016, grow the fuck up.
Fucking
my God.
Culture war bollocks, fucking hell. You do know that the pronouns have existed for a while, Darren. Just
2016 was a decade ago. Just can we move on from this bullshit? Like,
yeah, just fucking hell, man.
I'm proud to be British because that is not the case at the moment with some of the reforms.
This woke identity politics. I'm proud to be British.
reforms that you've made to the curriculum, and we need to make sure that our young people are people who can read, write, add up, and make sure that those are prepared for the future world. That's why we've said we need to get back to home economics, teaching people how to
get the kids in the kitchen,
work a budget out when they leave school so that they can cook a decent meal for themselves. You know, these are the life skills that our children don't have because of the way that we've shifted things into the curriculum over time.
All this anti-workery stuff, it's just scraping the barrel.
All right, okay. Rena Bjorworth, you have been criticised elsewhere for policy to try to keep university funding here in Wales and to keep students here in Wales. Some have accused you of, I don't know, putting a barrier to Welsh students studying elsewhere.
The other parties, yes, that's what they say, and trying to attack in terms of attacking our policy, to try to tell our young people whether they study in Wales, and we want more of them to do so, or whether they study in England, as two of my own children have done, that we want them to come back.
So you want to stop Welsh students studying in the...
Of course, two of my own children have studied.
But you take away their grants.
I was the one tonight who actually said to you, is it the case that you will remove the £1,000 grant from people who go to university?
And I said no.
So a year ago you had in your economic plan that was what you were going to do. Are you saying that now, if you are in government, you will not have that policy in place? You've changed your mind.
I have a point out that we've left the cross-examination part, but thank you.
I have a copy of my manifesto downstairs, and I'm happy to share it with you.
Changed your mind.
It's not a matter of changing my... Plaid Cymru is the one party. Plaid Cymru is the one party in this election that recognises, if I could finish, Plaid Cymru is the...
Jesus Christ. All right.
One party in this election that recognises the need to both support our students and support our higher education sector, which is facing a £100 million shortfall.
You've been pushed on your policies. You've crumbled under net zero. You've crumbled on this. This was your policy.
The problem facing higher education is because of your government's actions.
A tiny bit of pressure, and the policy is gone.
This is because of your government's actions.
You have aspirations to lead our nation. You've got to stand firm, not crumble at the first
People leading our nation have to admit what the problems are, and our higher education sector is on its knees because of Labour.
Deep breath, Darren Miller.
One of the other things that we need to do, of course, is to make the tuition fee loan system fairer. I mean, that's why Kemi Badenoch and others in the Conservative Party have been talking about the need to reform the student loan system.
Didn't they create the Type 2 student loan in England? I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, they did. Student fees, what are those?
So that there's no profit being...
Well, and that falls at the feet of fucking the Lib Dems again, that I will never forgive them for.
being made out of it on the backs of those who go to university, but that the interest rate is actually pegged to inflation. I think that's a far fairer system for our young people, and it will go some way to making sure
that they're
not paying back for the whole of their life.
Twat.
Right.
When they leave university.
How would you, because that has become increasingly a problem for a lot of young people, how would you fund the universities?
Well, the universities will get their tuition fee funds in any case, but the issue here is it's the interest on those loans that's the problem. And I think that, you know, if someone's earning a decent wage and still their debt is going up, which is currently the case, that's unfair.
For a lot of those universities.
But that is unfair on those young people who've worked hard, gotten through university, and are never paying that debt.
Did you say something? I was at someone on the panel then.
Jane Johnson,
I just really want to say something really brief. I think universities are absolutely fundamental to Wales. I think this needs a cross-party approach. I hope that whatever happens on May the 8th, I think actually, you know, the good thing about the Senedd is that we do work together where we share those values. And I think
I'm very glad now that the Lib Dems are responding so positively to Plaid Cymru's manifesto pledge to seek new consensus on higher education funding support.
Okay, thank you all for your points. We're going to take another short break now. When we're back, each leader will deliver a closing statement. It's the last chance for each of them to try to win your vote. Join us for that in a couple of minutes. Welcome back.
Before they get
now,
started,
as well as the 6 parties that you've seen tonight.
Yeah.
Do you think it's deliberate that they've put the two ladies next to each other?
Maybe.
No, I just thought they might have been. It's just been. I've been sitting there watching this, thinking, is that deliberate putting Ellen Ed and Jay next to each other? Do we think? It's just.
Well, they also. I feel sorry for the Renacon because he's at the stand. He's at the stand over by Darren Miller and bloody Dan Evans.
Yeah. Carry on. I just
a
thought that
number
was
of
quite
smaller
fun.
parties will also be standing in this election. Let's take a look now at some of those and what they stand for.
Oh, the other parties. Here we go.
Oh, Heritage.
We're ordinary people. We are ordinary people. The people who form the Heritage Party were politically homeless. And like I said, this is all common sense policies from the people on the ground. Our policies are based on defending our culture and heritage, scrapping the comprehensive sexuality education. We're going to end the immigration and the use of HMOs. We are against the net zero madness. We're against the 20 miles an hour, and we are going to scrap the Senedd. We're not getting any answers from government. We feel that democracy is now a mockery in this country. So if people are looking for hard-working, passionate people that are going to work from the heart and for the goodness of the people in this country, the Heritage Party is our party.
Oh God, right, here we go.
We're very honest, we're straightforward. It is very clear what we are for. We are for, eventually, for independence for Wales. We haven't got the history, which is great because we're a new party and therefore we can make our own history.
We are the People's Party because we really want to make politics available to the public, but not just available, listen to them. We want our mandate to be about the people and accountable to the people.
Propel.
The key point is that we're an anti-corruption party. There's plenty of it in Cardiff Bay. We want that debate on corruption in the Welsh public sector, and nobody else will hold that, and nobody else will name the names that we will name. Vote for us if you want a debate on corruption in the Welsh public sector.
Oh.
We think we need a mass council home building campaign. We need rent control. We need to nationalise the energy companies in Wales and to fully fund the NHS and kick out the private sector who are leeching off our public services.
They run up here as well.
And there's more on the smaller parties on our website. You can also find all our coverage of the campaign so far on ITV, ITVX and our YouTube channel. Now, though, we finish tonight with a closing statement from each leader. This is the last chance for each of them tonight to try to win you over. Again, the order has been selected at random, and we start with Darren Miller. Darren Miller, why should people vote for your party?
After 27 years of Labour with the
your party, my party,
support of Plaid Cymru and the Liberal Democrats, Wales isn't working as it should be. People are paying more in tax but getting less in return. Our NHS waiting lists are the longest in the UK. We have the worst educational standards in the UK and the lowest pay packets in the UK. It's not good enough. The Welsh Conservatives have a credible plan to fix Wales and get Wales working. We will cut your taxes to save you money and put that back in your pockets. We will cut waste and we will fix our public services. So vote Welsh Conservative on the 7th of May.
Thank you very much for your closing statement. And next it's Eluned Morgan.
I want to leave you with something to think about. For 8 months in a row, waiting lists have come down. The plan is working. And if Welsh Labour is elected again, then we will progress with that plan.
She sounded fed up then. If Welsh Labour is elected again.
I don't think you have that. I don't think you have to worry about that, Eluned. Just saying.
I don't think that's happening. I don't think you were keeping my seat, my love.
Where does she represent
if
anyway?
You're thinking of voting for.
can't remember now. She's going to lose her seat, though. I know that much.
Or Plaid or Reform. Ask yourself, do their sums really add up? Is the NHS really safe in their hands? Is it worth the risk? Welsh Labour has a plan, we have the experience, and it's deliverable. So vote Welsh Labour on May the 7th.
Thank you very much, Elena Morgan. And now it's time for the closing statement from Jane Dodds.
Tonight you'll have heard lots of policies, plans and suggestions, but I want you to vote with your heart. And if your heart says you want to reduce child poverty through more funding going into childcare, if your heart says you want to protect our most vulnerable and valued through more money going into social care, and if you want to protect our rivers and our seas through more money going into tackling water pollution, then vote Welsh Liberal Democrat for health, for hope, compassion and care. Vote Welsh Liberal Democrats on the 7th of May.
Jane Dodds, thank you very much. Now to the Leader of the Wales Green Party, Anthony Slaughter.
The cost of living crisis is an emergency. We will tackle it with a set of practical measures. If you want to stop reform coming to Wales and dividing our communities, remember that Wales Greens are the main challengers to reform in most of the marginal seats. Every Green MS that you elect will push for measures to bring down the cost of living, to protect and restore nature, and resist pressure from lobbyists, so that the government works for us, not the privileged few. Vote Wales Green Party on May the 7th.
Thank you very much. And now to Rhys Bioworth. Why should people vote for your party?
On May the 7th, we have a real opportunity as a nation, but we face a stark choice. Labour's days are over. It's a choice of two futures now, Plaid Cymru or Reform. It's hope or division. It's me and Plaid Cymru's team of community champions, or it's billionaire-backed Nigel Farage's ex-Tories. Now, with that programme to renew public services and help you with the cost of living and to always stand up for Wales, only Plaid Cymru can beat Reform and offer hope, and we can only do it with your support on May the 7th.
Thank you very much, Rhys Bioworth. And finally, Dan Thomas, your closing statement. Why should people vote for your party?
Reform are the only party offering genuine change and new ambitious leadership for Wales, whereas Plaid Cymru have been Labour's puppets for the last 27 years. They haven't got the answers, they've been part of the problem, they're not the solution, and their push for independence will divide Wales. Whereas Reform will unite Wales around common sense policies and the principle of putting you, the people of Wales, first. So if you want to turn this country round and you want common sense policies, vote Reform on the 7th of May.
Dan Thomas from Reform UK, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you. That brings to an end the debate section of this programme. It's not over. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. I hope that this part of it, though, has helped you to make up your mind. After the break, I'll be heading upstairs to meet political commentators Laura McAllister and Lauren McKevitt, who'll be sharing their thoughts on tonight's performances. Wonder what those are. For now, though, thank you to all of you for taking part in this debate tonight. Good luck with the remaining 2 and a bit weeks of this campaign. Join me for analysis of tonight's action after the break.
We are in the campaign at the moment. It's starting to get a bit tenser, more fractious, and you could see the kind of split between the two blocks on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side, and where the attacks were, where the blows were trying to be landed.
And I think this first extract might give us some idea of that. So let's just see this, and then we'll talk a bit more about that.
We've got a clear policy to introduce a stamp duty scrap on all main homes. We think that that's good for the economy.
Most people don't pay the stamp
duty. But it will help people move up and down that housing ladder, get mobility in the housing market, and absolutely all the plumbers and the electricians and the carpet fitters and the kitchen fitters and the other tradespeople who will be engaged every time there's a house move will help our economy get better.
Okay, no, let's
the housing ladder is a pipe dream to most people, especially young people.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to get the housing market working, and you do that by getting fair rents.
And we've got the Help to Buy programme as well, which has helped people just to
There's also evidence that distorts the market as well.
It helps people to get on the ladder, and I think that is important for them.
Dan Thomas, very quickly.
And there's no evidence that Wales retaining it has actually increased house building. What we need is a fast-track planning system to get these houses built and to deliver the houses that people are waiting for. Whether it's rent or to own, we need to build more houses.
Okay. So an exchange on housing, stamp duty or land transaction tax and planning. What was it about that particular stretch?
I thought this section was a bit scattergun, if I'm being really honest. I thought the different party leaders tried to cover so much ground there, and we moved around from housing to taxation.
I agree. Politicians are whack. I don't really care about the analysis, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm not bothered by the analysis as well. I just wanted to hear what the politicians were saying.
Yeah,
it's funny that Scotland got mentioned a couple of times. I'm glad I was here so I could counter what they said.
I mean, to be fair, Kate, you guys are the model. Like,
yeah,
you know. Yeah.
I'll keep on saying, feel free to borrow or pinch our homework. Honestly, I want you to have the same powers as we do up here, with obviously independence down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you, Reza. I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
We have to counter
them, though.
I think Anthony
thought it was better in this one than he did in the BBC one.
Yeah, he done a lot better here.
I think Rim did really well. I think.
Did the rest of them sound?
I don't think
pretty
the
much
Baroness. I think the Baroness has given up.
Yeah, she did sound knackered, didn't she? I bet she can't wait to get back to the fucking House of Lords and fuck this. I checked mid and West Wales. So is that what?
Yeah.
Is that list? Is that list?
That would be a regional seat, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
She is tired, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Eleanor, go and have a nap. Go and lie down.
Go lie down on the green benches, Eleanor. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm sure some of them already do.
Oh no, wait, they're red, aren't they?
It's red in the other place.
It's right.
Green in the House of Commons. Yeah, it's red in the other place.
Yeah, green in the Commons, red in the Lords.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I just think Dan Evans, I keep on calling Dan Thomas, Dan Evans keeps coming, the Reform Egg keeps coming across as very unlikable. And Darren Miller's giving me creepy Christian vibes.
Yeah, he kind of unsettles me. Like, the Tories up here just infuriate me. Like, Russell Finlay, he mostly a joke. His second in command, Megan, and Anas is just, well, you know what we call him up here anyway. Yeah. He is Enos.
Yeah.
He is Enos.
Yeah.
So, and Offord, he's a Tory at the end of the day. He was a Thatcherite.
Same with that. I also wish the Conservative Party would die. And it's you know, it's not deposit back in most seats in Wales anyway, so, and they've been wiped out in Westminster here multiple times, like, yeah, they're going to end up one Senedd seat. I think Darren Miller is the only one that's going to keep the seat, so yeah.
We think that Jane's going to lose hers, don't we?
Oh yeah. I mean, the latest YouGov, wait there, let me pull up the latest YouGov poll, because there was a one released today, and it closes the gap as well between Plaid and Reform. It's got me a bit worried. YouGov, block. Senedd, MRP. There you go. So First one? No, I want the most recent. Did you go to Senedd? An old one. I do by like last 24 hours, last month. Check the snapshot spring 2026. Which one's there? I think I've seen this one. Was it an ITV poll?
Huh.
Before you click Cozy's Gap, that was it. Yeah, that's the one.
Ah, there we go. Okay. What's Plaid on with this one?
I should say there.
37.
Then.
Oh, 37 to Reform and 36 to Plaid.
Yeah.
12
like
to Labour. 70 Green's not bad. 3 for the Tories.
Yeah.
Oh, she'd survive. She'd survive.
Yeah, she'd hang on at the skin of her teeth. Literally.
Oh my god.
Let's have a look at it. Let's go straight to my constituency.
Oh, right.
Oh, 2 seats to Plaid, 3 seats to Reform, 1 to Labour. And then where I work. 2 to Plaid, 2 to Reform, 1 to Labour, 1 to the Greens.
Not that jail partner. That jail partners one for the Telegraph, because their polling methods is quite different from YouGov's. I'm still keeping to the YouGov
poll though.
Yeah. You're the more recent one has been like it's not been done by YouGov. It was saying that about either a third or a half of the constituency seats here in Glasgow are going to revert back to Labour, and no, I don't think so. The level of dissatisfaction here in the city is unbelievable. Most of us despise Keir Starmer, and Annis isn't really respected up here. Don't get me wrong, I actively hate the man for what he's doing, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's been in talks with fucking Reform. Just no.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking to that YouGov one, which basically shows that either 67 or 68 of the seats would be going to, like, the constituencies would be going to SNP, and Lib Dem would get some of them, and Labour would keep one of their constituencies. One of them.
I think, like, if these numbers are correct, that would be a Plaid Labour coalition or Confidence and Supply. Like, they could probably pull off Confidence and Supply.
Would a Plaid Green work? Or is there not enough Green?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Barely enough for Plaid Labour.
That'd be 48, which would be 90.
One short. You need 49.
90, yeah. 48, yeah, you need 49. A 3-way coalition?
Yeah. Confidence
you
and
could
Supply
make
at that
it,
point.
maybe you could be nice towards Jane, and she could help.
She wouldn't help with Plaid though. She's already said they won't work with.
No.
Yeah, I mean they could switch to Green or Plaid instead of Labour due to Starmer, and yeah, this was pre-Scandalson, being in the news as well. Because according to this was between April the 6th and the 15th. So last week.
What ones what ones are Reform winning, and what ones are they going to get a fair few in? Like some of those areas look big.
Yeah, they are, because there's not many people there.
See, look at fucking hell! Look at the size of that one.
I know, it looks like a bit like a knob.
Yeah.
That one looks like a trident. Let's see, 2 there, 1 for the Greens, 2 there, 3 for Clyde, 3 for, oh fucking hell, 3 for Reform in Clwyd.
Clwyd, what the hell?
3 for Reform in Wrexham. 3 for Reform in Gwynedd. Oh, a Green over in Cardigan, Penfro. Ugh. Oh my god, the bloody Reform.
Abertawe, Rhondda. What's that?
Bridgend.
Morgannwg.
Morgannwg.
Was that Penabont?
Tory? Fucking hell, they're gonna get a Tory.
What?
Yeah,
Where
Penabont
is
right.
Oh, Penabont.
That's basically fucking Bridgend would be the biggest place there, I'd say. Cardiff Penarth, who's gonna win there? Clyde, Queen's are gonna get 1. Anthony Sorter's got a seat.
Nice one.
Why can't I click on that? Why can't I click on that Cardiff constituency? There we go. Cardiff Union Town. 1 for Labour, 2 for Reform, 2 for Clyde. That's basically where I work and lived for most of my life. Or the first part of my life, I guess. 1 Green, 1 Labour, 2 Reform. Oh, I'm so scared. I hope this isn't right. I hope this isn't right. Because they'll whinge and moan about democracy if that's the result. If they have the overall larger party and don't form government because they haven't got enough support, they're gonna cry foul.
Flogging it out. Great to see you, Dan, by the way, comrade. Ooh. I don't like that 37. Oh.
No.
No, like the Reform wouldn't get any constituencies up here because just they wouldn't. Like the Tories would be safe, but they're mostly competitive in the ones close to the border. Oddly enough, who'd have thought
I blame the Yanks for this. This is the Yanks' fault. This is no, seriously, yeah. Thomas Jefferson came up with this fucking stupid voting system we've got.
Oh, right.
Nah.
Reactionary border unionists. And they keep on doing tactical voting as well, Dan. I'm fed up of it. No, like if we're the unionists scattered all over the country, obviously, if their brand of unionist party are not competitive where they live, they tactically vote. So like a lot of the ones who are unionists who live in the capital, instead of voting for either the scum, they either go with either the Lib Dems or with Labour. But some of them, like the major metropolitan areas, Reform aren't popular. Most people don't like them. And we're not really liking Offord, obviously. So in the more urban areas, to keep the SNP from getting their majority, or just to keep them out of that seat, essentially, most of the city centre ones, for their tactical unionist vote, a lot of them just pile in and back the Lib Dems or back Labour instead of the Tories. And all the ones in like the borders or up in the northeast near Aberdeenshire and those areas up there and stuff, they vote for like instead of the Lib Dems because they're not really competitive up there on the east coast in the northeast of Scotland. They either go with the scum or with the new scum. So that's why they've been polling kind of well up in Aberdeenshire's reform. No, like the Tory vote in certain areas is just dived off a cliff essentially because obviously, yeah. I'm praying
they've got the field already now.
That's looking good, Dan, actually, that the Greens might be the official position. That's going on the YouGov MRP from last week, 2 weeks ago. So yeah, we might have like the SNB having the majority of the constituencies and Greens in second place on the list. Be still my beating heart. That'd be good.
Two parties consistently neck and neck. Reform increase the vote share. Bob Plight just drop according to MRP. This is MRP polling as well. Fuck, I was hoping it wasn't, but it is. Granted, the sample size is only like 2,000, but that's more than enough for MRP polling, sadly. Like,
because of your reduced population, 2,000 for an MRP. I'm still calling it a bit on the low side. The MRPs that have been happening up here, for me to give them any validity, in my opinion, this is just me. This is just my opinion on this one. Anything above 5,000 is what I'd want, especially for the MRP. How an MRP poll actually works. I'd want 5,000 or above. Mm-hmm. Ideally, it should be 10,000 people that there are 10,000 respondents. Like they've done that once. So, I think the most recent MRPs have been like 3,200. It's like 3,200 as the size of the population for Scotland. Bit on the low end. But the methodology for the MRP makes it you can do a lower amount of participants or respondents essentially. But yeah. First past the post is fucking garbage, Reza.
We don't have first past the post here. It's a separate, it's a different system, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a close proportional list is what we have.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I hadn't seen that one before. I like ranked choice. That's how our council elections work. So we get this ranked here. I like ranked ones.
Mm-hmm. Any ranked voting system is best because, like our parliaments are set up to form blocks anyway. So if you can vote along those blocks, it just reflects democracy way better.
Mm-hmm. I like the don't get me the additional member system. It does give back a little bit more representation, a bit of it. But the constituencies, they're still first past the post, like which I said, garbage. Yeah, garbage.
I just don't like the fact that this is like a percentile system basically. So I get one vote, but like it's all done on like the percentage. I think it's a similar way to how your list votes are counted. I can't remember though.
It's the D'Hondt system. The way the system works here, like you do first past the post, whatever your constituency is, and then it's a formula essentially. It's a weird one. Like, it's how it works. It is a little bit better.
I'm sure
so
I
like
find the video to explain it, but
there is. It's called Left Scotland, and he explains it rather well. Stephen, he's quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? Single transferable. Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, no, we love STV. STV is the go of voting system.
Yeah, yes. STV good.
I will be right back, Katie. I'm going to take a quick break.
No problem. Hello, everyone. Great to see you, Dan, by the way. I hope you've been doing well, my comrade. What's this? England is so rigged on purpose, it's ridiculous. But that surprises nobody. Yeah, surprises nobody, Reza. Yeah. Refreshment.
Oh.
What is saying? We doesn't need
federalism
listening.
We desperately need
Oh, that's what Nandy suggested for the UK to be a for it to be a proper federal system. They'd have to get rid of jug-eared bugger, like old sausage fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have like a president or something. That might work. Ideally, I'd still want Scottish independence at the end of the day.
Yeah, same here with Wales.
But she's advocated for like a federal UK system before. She lost a lot of people there.
Like, small population centres don't do as well in federal systems. So, yeah. I'd rather Wales be independent, personally.
Yeah, Celtic republicanism.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be quite willing to form, like, some sort of, union with the other Celtic nations. No problem with that. But it would be a voluntary one, and it wouldn't be a federal one. But it would be my preference, because you can't leave federations easily. And yeah. We've just got our independence. We don't want to,
Hang on, there was one on Channel 4 tonight as well. So Super Hubby usually watches Channel 4 news, but because it was like the
Scottish one.
Yeah, that might be fun to put on if you want.
Yeah. Send me a link and I'll if you can find it on YouTube.
Cool. Give me a second.
And just need a quick coffee, a sec.
No problem. Oh God. There it's there. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Reza. Yeah. What the hell? Come on. Send the royals back to Hanover. Yeah.
Oh.
What the hell? Oh, crud. I'll be back momentarily, friends.
Oh, I have to change.
I'll be back in a minute, Spex, okay?
No props. And there we go. Might help Kate back a little bit. Oh, isn't BBC Alippa still a thing? Or is it just a thing, but like with anemic as hell funding? SRC's gone like a lot digital now, which is cool. Like, yeah. That's a shame. I don't know who pays for S4C's funding. I guess I know it gets some money from advertising on, like, the actual TV station, but I haven't actually looked into it. I'm sure they get, like, block grants from the Welsh Government. I don't know whether they get any central government funding. They were set up by Thatcher, though. Like, that was something that, happened under Thatcher with S4C. I was lucky to grow up in Newport, really, because at the front of the house, you'd get S4C, and at the back of the house, you'd get Halfor. Welcome back, Katie.
Good.
Oh.
Thank you. I return. Give me Channel 4 debate, if you please. Your job. Let's see. Channel 4. Is that? Ah! Let's see if I can bring this in.
Well, let's begin with a shadow over these elections from the events in London and the relationship between Wales and Westminster. Eleanor Morgan, on the day your counterpart in Scotland, Anas Sarwar, decided to call for Starmer to go, you didn't. You saved his skin. You made a mistake, didn't you?
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I am very lucky that all through school, from reception all the way up to university, I had the option to do Welsh. Like, I wish I did more than short course Welsh at GCSE, but I'm glad that we were forced to do short course. Because, you know, it does stick with you. So my Welsh is terrible. Spoken. I can read it better than I can speak it. Let's copy that.
Did you get it?
I've got to share my screen again, haven't I? Because I stopped sharing momentarily. We will do just the window this time, and we will do that one. Share. And paste and go.
This is only 40 minutes. This is a lot shorter.
Yeah, this will fly by.
Yes.
Am I sharing or?
Yeah, you're sharing. I can see.
Is the audio going as well? Oh, we don't know yet. Let's press play and see.
It should be.
Have you got sound?
Oh, no. Bollocks.
No? One sec.
No.
Clear my Chrome. Bring back the core here.
Oh, bring my chat back. Camera like needs to be mandatory like early in Erin. Yes, Dan.
Also share your audio, entire screen, share system audio. That's how I've got to do it. Okay, I can't just share a window. There we go. And bring back the core here. And hit play.
From the events in London and the relationship between Wales and Westminster. Eleanor Morgan, on the day your counterpart in Scotland, Anna Sarwar, decided to call for Starmer to go, you didn't. You saved his skin. You made a mistake, didn't you? You still think he's the best leader for Labour?
I think in an age of instability, I think when you've got global peril, when it's costing people in terms of petrol prices and oil prices, what you need.
Sorry about this. No, I wonder if Anas felt betrayed there, stabbed in the front or the back by her, because he thought. I was speculating. Now, if she joins in, if she backs him for the call, that might have actually paid him. He might have had to have stepped down. Well, he's gobbed anyway. He's fucked. If this kicking that I'm predicting is going to happen to them, he's completely. Like Helena said the other night there, yesterday, they're keeping this if they get the kicking, they're going to use that to boot him essentially, because remember he isn't Prime Minister. So yeah,
Why
so
did
I
she
think
dress like a milkman?
Who said that? Oh, she Reza.
Brilliant.
She looked like a. Was that you? Was that you or Dan, Reza? He said, why did she look like a tomato?
It was Reza, that was.
Yeah. Oh, carry on, Eleanor, then.
Is somebody who calls the shots correctly on the big picture issues, and that's what he's done when it comes to the situation in the Gulf. Look, he made a mistake.
I mean, who do you believe for a start? We've had two versions of events now, one from Starmer, one from Robbins, the civil servant he sacked. Who got it right?
Look, he made a mistake in appointing Mandelson. I would never have appointed him. Mandelson's brand of Labour politics is alien to Welsh Labour politics. And I'm very clear, though, that when it comes to the big call, when it came to joining in with the war, Nigel Farage
not what I'm asking you.
Wanted to go in. And so did the Tories.
Is he coming here to campaign for Welsh Labour?
Well,
do you want him here?
He's been here 3 times, and every time he's come, he's brought.
Is he coming in the next 2 weeks?
He's brought us a brand new nuclear power station. He's committed to £14 billion of rail investment, and he committed to stop.
Do you want him here in the next 2 weeks?
Child benefit cap, which is going to help 70,000.
Do you want him here in the next 2 weeks? Are you saying he is an electoral asset for you right now, given where you are in the opinion poll tonight?
What I want him to do is to focus on trying to resolve the situation in the Middle East. That is the best way to help people in Wales to bring those prices down.
Read up your oath. I mean, this is about the relationship between Wales and Westminster. Wouldn't your relationship with the London government be even worse than Eleanor's?
It would be a transparent relationship. What we have here, it was branded as a partnership in power, but it was essentially a partnership about staying in power for Labour in Wales, where Eleanor Morgan chose to pull her punches to not be too troublesome for Keir Starmer. And whilst people are deeply disillusioned about Keir Starmer, all his actions around failing to protect the most vulnerable, now the continuation of Tory cronyism, if you like, with the Mandelson appointment, we have Labour in Wales who are still unwilling to stand up to him. And maybe Eleanor Morgan, you could use this opportunity to not pull your punches on the Mandelson affair and call on him, like every other party leader in the UK, to resign.
Let me be clear. When it came to winter fuel allowance, I called him out. When it came to the cap on 2-child benefits, I was absolutely clear we wanted to see an end to that. So we've been consistent in terms of asking and remaining true to the Welsh Labour values, and it's good to see that they've come to understand that point of view and have shifted positions.
Isn't the truth, Rena Yorworth, that you paint yourself as a big departure, but history shows that you have worked with Labour in the past? You'd just have a little swap of roles in reality, and nothing much would change.
And people understand that that's not the case, because what we've been able to do is, from opposition, other than an agreement 20 years ago, from opposition, get Labour to do things that otherwise it wouldn't. Free school meals in primary schools, Labour voted against it time and time again, but we didn't give up, and we managed to get it implemented in this Senedd.
And then you voted against the budget
and people are asking, if Plaid Cymru have been able to do that from opposition, just imagine what they can do from government.
You're two cheeks on the same miserable face. That's the reality between Labour and Plaid Cymru. And what we actually know is that the First Minister...
I would have respected more if he'd actually said that fucking expression properly. Like, I know you're on Channel 4 at 6 p.m. or whatever, but still, like, fuck, just say ass, Jesus.
This was done at 8.
On the day that Anna...
Oh, it was 8, was it? Well, still,
it was 8 p.m,
I know
it was a little bit later.
But, like, if
maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he doesn't want to say the word arse because someone might throw it back in his face. He's a Slovene.
Anna Samwa had the guts to get off the fence and make it clear what his position was. The First Minister sat on the fence all day waiting to see whether...
Helena's just finished up.
Whether there'd be any more movement down the other end of the M4 before finally giving her support.
Just on today's news, do you and the Conservative Party now accept, contrary to what you were saying last week, that Keir Starmer hasn't been lying? Because Ollie Robbins confirmed.
One thing which is very clear is that he's been misleading the public and misleading Parliament.
Has he been lying?
He announced the appointment
That's what your leader said
of Peter
last week.
Mandelson as ambassador prior to the proper process, and he's been claiming that proper process and due process was undertaken. That's certainly not the case.
A Conservative representative talking about misleading the public. We haven't forgotten Liz Truss. We haven't forgotten Boris Johnson. But I'd like to quickly come back to Mandelson as well, because what's been bothering me for the last couple of days, we've seen so much debate about process. Now, this was a man...
Loving punk grandpa and the bisexual liking behind him. It's very aesthetic.
It is, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Peter Mandelson, who continued to publicly be a notorious paedophile's friend after he'd been convicted. If that doesn't set alarm bells off, why did he even get to the stage of there being a process? It shows incompetence and just absolute feebleness on Starmer's part. It shows how cosy the establishment are. And while we're talking about the Epstein files, let's remember that Dan's boss in Reform UK Limited, his name's scattered through there as well, which makes a mockery of their claim to be an anti-establishment party. All these people are the establishment.
What I'd be interested in talking about is Welsh issues. Keir Starmer is not on the ballot in this election, and neither.
But he's one of the reasons you are floundering in the opinion polls, isn't he?
And I would like people to focus on things that matter to them in their daily lives. You know, making a protest vote on May the 7th will not help fix the NHS and improve the NHS in Wales. It won't help people with the cost of living. But they may feel better for a day.
Let's bring in reform here, Dan Thomas.
Live with the consequences.
What do you mean by a protest vote,
campaigning?
Jesus Christ! It's like she feels she's like got the mandate of heaven to coin one of Helena's latest phrases.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking hell. Alright, while we've got this paused, what are was it Glass? What are they? Are they just?
Yeah.
They're like
they're like the even more extreme Alapa, if you like. So they're like the right wing independents.
All right.
But like, yeah.
Thank you. 650 members. There was a good few thousand in Alapa, which is madness. I don't know where most of them have went. Right wing Nats, alright. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Saying a vote for reform in Wales is a vote to get rid of Keir Starmer in London.
It will send a very big message. If Labour lose control of Wales, it'll send a very big message. And it's one of the reasons many people want to come out and vote Labour out. They've got a poor track record in Westminster. They've got a poor track record in Cardiff. And this latest instalment of the Starmer drama just shows how incompetent he is at a time when we need...
All right. Starmer drama is pretty good, especially in the
That's quite fun.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's funny.
Needs strong leadership.
Like credit where credit is due. Like
yeah, that is quite fun.
The best two performers yesterday were 30 Peely and Zara Sultana because they, you know, actually called a fucking spade a spade.
Spade, they did indeed.
So
hype them. Hello.
Yeah, credit where credit is due.
In Westminster and in Cardiff Bay.
Isn't that
we
one
have
of the
weak
most
leadership.
deeply cynical
this will be the
reasons
not cynical. We have
to campaign
we have a manifesto
to affect things in Westminster.
No, we have a manifesto.
You're asking for power
we're
in Wales.
campaigning on the strengths of our manifesto, but let's be real. People out there are also fed up of Keir Starmer. They're fed up of Labour in general, and this doesn't add to it. We need strong leadership. Jane, whenever I try to engage with you, you always ask me not to interrupt. Excuse me.
Here in Wales,
but
focusing on
I've been asked about Keir Starmer, and his record is appalling. And so we in Wales, yes, we want to focus on Welsh issues, but we also need a strong United Kingdom and strong leadership at both ends of the M4.
If we were talking about the relationship between you as a potential First Minister and the Prime Minister, or your leader in London, I mean, you're totally at the whim of Nigel Farage.
I'm not.
I mean, he appointed you, and he can sack you tomorrow if he wants. There's no democracy in reform. You don't have a sort of a power base of your own. You know, so when you talk about policy, you know, on the NHS or anything else, it's only for as long as Nigel Farage allows.
My members are fully behind me, and let's not forget, no leader on this panel has been directly elected.
I was directly elected.
Okay,
can Nigel Farage sack you tonight?
I was saying
no, he can't sack. No. So I am the leader of the party in Wales.
He appointed you.
No, let's not forget, Plaid Cymru.
Who can sack you?
Plaid Cymru have been the puppets of Labour and vice versa through our last 27 years.
That's a slightly different point.
Actually, no, they have.
I'm asking you in terms of fact. You were appointed by Nigel Farage.
I was appointed.
Directly.
Yes.
He can sack you as well, can't he?
No.
How can you be removed then?
No. So if I am elected in May, I will be leader of the group here in the Senedd, and we'll have a strong, united party.
And he can sack you from reform.
Whereas these two will just do a dodgy deal between themselves. For the last 27 years, Plaid Cymru have been the puppets of the Labour Party.
Reform, most of their members have come directly from the Tories. Their manifestos are almost identical. This is the same thing.
They did copy the Tories' homework on that one.
They did, yes. They literally did.
The same party, and last time Nigel Farage's party was elected here, 7 of them were elected, 6 of them had left the party at the end of 5 years.
I mean, in terms of the relationship between a Welsh leader and a London leader, you don't even speak to your leader in London, Ed Davey, do you? I mean, he was here, and you didn't even meet him.
I'm not going to talk about my relationship with anybody. That's a private matter.
Hang on, he's your party leader.
That's bad. Come on. If the leader of like the national, like UK-wide party comes to town and doesn't come to visit, that's a bit like ooh.
Leader.
Well, that's
so much time in Cardiff.
That's the same up here with I'm not sure if Ed Davies actually been up here or not, but the last 2 times that Keir's came up here, he hasn't met with Anas, and both times he actually just went to Faz. He just went to Faz Lane for reasons. He didn't. Like the most recent one has been during this election period, and he never went to speak. They never done a photo op with Anas or anything. Strained relationship, methinks.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah, so.
What do you mean your relationship? What about your private relationship? You are the leader in Wales, he is the leader in the UK.
And we have devolution, and the Welsh Liberal Democrats are a separate party. We are really clear about that. I am the leader, and we form our manifesto.
So you don't need to have a leader in Ed Davey who you can talk to.
We have our own manifesto, and we deliver on that. And that's the difference from Reform UK. I am really clear that I lead here.
I stand side by side with my leader.
And I have the support of my members to continue.
Isn't it interesting that I am the only one standing here as the leader of a solely Welsh party, answerable only to people in Wales.
Yeah, but Labour pull your strings, Reid. Labour have pulled your strings for 27 years, and it will do. After the election, they'll be trying to do a deal.
And I'm proud of the fact that we're part of the United Kingdom.
Okay.
I don't want to see independence, and neither the rest of the people.
That's given us
of
a
Wales.
taste, a little bit of your reactions to the Manchester scandal and London. We've got a lot to get through, if you don't mind. So, the Parliament here, of course, in Cardiff, has powers over a wide range of public services and now the power to vary some taxes. Now, this is an election where the cost of living is consistently ranked as the most important issue. So what do the parties offer? Renap Yorworth, let's start with you. I mean, why have you made childcare the centre of your campaign?
We think it's for a number of reasons. The cost of living crisis is one of those. This will be worth £30,000 per child by the full rollout of this policy, helping people with the cost of living crisis, which, you know, they're paying more for their childcare than they are for their mortgages or rents quite often. But it's also to give children a good start in life, get them on the road to a good education. And it's also about helping families as well. There are so many elements to this. And we have decided that this is worthwhile, making it an ambitious but achievable policy for those reasons.
Spex.
You've been very opaque so far about...
Is that one of the things that you and your partner are worried about? Is childcare, or is stay at home? Are you going to be the main breadwinner?
So
having to say that?
Well, our finances are separate, mine and my partner's, and they will continue to be. We may set up a joint account for the child, but yeah, so for all intents and purposes, Mum is going to stay home. And so, you know, nights and weekends is Dad's shift, and not that it's, you know, but, you know, and then when I'm in work, it's Mum's turn. Do you know what I mean? So,
like,
after
that was
the breastfeeding's done, obviously.
That was the main one for my younger sister, because they both work, her and her partner, so they needed the childcare, and when the youngest one was like back before he started primary school and stuff, she was getting, that household was getting scalped. Childcare is fucking expensive. And I said to
like,
it's mental.
If my partner wasn't able to stay at home, then we couldn't afford to have a child.
Yeah.
That's
the main
childcare is so expensive that my sister has to go part-time while her partner works full-time. Like, just because they can't afford the childcare. And like, that can't be good.
So will that be a big vote winner, do you think, for Plaid?
I hope so. I hope so. I like it. I think it's good, but I'm biased at the moment because I'm about to have a child.
Yeah.
Universal, so, like, you know, we'd still be eligible for this, even though my partner doesn't work, and that's good because she needs a break too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that we've got I can't remember how many fucking hours it is. Christ. But the Scottish Greens want to expand it. They want to give more hours and bring it down to 80. It's like from 18 months up to the starting primary school, which is brilliant. It is a beautiful language, isn't it, Dan? So yeah, they want to expand it, which would be a great thing, which is proving rather popular, which is good. I like that. Not parent, not any possibility of parent. This lass. So yeah, but I can see how it's moving a lot of voters, especially to back like the SNP and to do the Greens as well, so they can expand on childcare, like more hours and stuff, which would be good. It's good.
Yeah, it's 30 hours from right there. I've got the propaganda here. One sec.
You've got the propaganda.
Yeah. Government put Wales first every time. Where's the childcare bit? Transport. Stop the form. Free childcare. Here we go. 9 months to 4 years. Building. 20 hours a week, 48 weeks a year. So
that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
It's a good place to start, at least.
Yeah.
What is it? They want to do 30 hours a week here, which would be, that'll be 5 days. That'd be 6 hours a day, roughly. So 3 in the morning for primary, for starting. This is for like primary age, so 3 hours before and 3 hours after, to help with the shift work, essentially. So that's good. Have you moved over to Twitch? Hello, hype them on Twitch.
The affordability.
Thank you for coming over to Twitch.
£400 million.
Yeah.
The cost.
We took.
Don't forget, guys, you can subscribe to Katie and give her bits and subs and stuff.
We had an expert say yes, okay, it can be.
One of the most eminent economists in Wales.
Where's the money actually going to come from?
So one of the most eminent economists in Wales looked and said, you know what, there are challenges here, and nobody would expect us to go into this election saying we want to do things easy. We want challenges, but it's achievable.
You'll have to cut something, or divert funding from something.
Well,
I'll be honest with the public.
No, because everything that we have, as has been tested, is within the envelope of what we have for the next year, or what is reasonably expected to be in the budget for the next 3 years. But we still make the case for the additional funding, for example, around HS2 rail, or by controlling our own natural resources, that would enable us to make additional...
Labour, both sides of the M4, ranted and raved before they were in power about HS2 funding and how unfair the Tories would be in. And as soon as they got into power, they shut their office, not power, office. As soon as they got into office, their lips were sealed. More likely to get blood out of a stone. Fucking ridiculous.
Fucking... So is that the main motorway leaving, or like connecting England and Wales?
Yeah, the M4. So well, that connects literally Cardiff and London. So yeah.
All right. Oh, right. Thanks. I keep on meaning to ask you. So right. So that's the main one between Cardiff and London. So thank you.
That's what I mean when I say both. When I say both sides of the M4, I mean Cardiff.
Literally Cardiff and London. That they're London.
That they're London. Right.
Investments in our infrastructure, in the future of the Welsh economy, and so on. This is the care that Plaid Cymru has been putting in to the preparation of this programme for government.
So I don't accept that. I think
I know you don't accept
that. Well, it's because your programme is uncosted, it's undeliverable.
It is not.
And if you just look at childcare, we simply don't have the numbers of people who are able to deliver that policy.
One of the big...
I mean, that's just not true, though. Like, I'm sure the reform guy's going to mention there are 30,000 people out of work.
Big measures that's been taken in the past few years has been the rollout of free school meals. It was done because Plaid Cymru insisted that this needed to be done, and we were able to influence government to do it. As I said earlier, time and time again, Labour voted against it. No, if I can finish.
The next year you voted against
Labour not only voted against it time and time again, but they said this cannot be done. This is not affordable. That's the level of ambition and the get-go that's been missing under Labour that we need under Plaid Cymru.
Dan, Thomas, you have a very different central vision, and it's about tax cuts. Are you prepared to be honest with people about what you will cut in order to afford those tax cuts?
Yes, and we've given it in some detail where we would fund that tax cut. £375 million worth of savings, protect frontline services, the things that...
There'll be a lot of jobs, won't it?
No, not a lot. Not a lot of jobs, actually. We're talking about 10% of the civil service of the central Welsh government would be cut over time, and we would also have a pay freeze. So that's the civil service, that's the jobs.
Pay freeze for all public sector work?
Yes, no, not for all public sector, just for the central Welsh government civil service.
So it's the bureaucrats you don't like?
Yeah, well, not that we don't know. Well, they are actually well paid compared to...
That's like Davina. Sorry, Davina. God, dyslexia, man.
Compared to the rest of the UK, the median pay for civil servants in Wales is higher. So we think there's room there for some pay restraint, and that's quite right. At the end of the day, we want to channel that money into nurses on our NHS. And there's also expensive subsidies that we're paying for as well. So there's plenty of money. We're talking about 1.5% of the overall budget. It is very achievable. And we've stated very clearly, and I have throughout these debates, where we would make those savings. Look,
be honest, type them. The most that Irish I get interacted with at the moment is through kneecap songs. Kneecap's so good. My God.
They are, aren't they? They're brilliant. Yeah.
No, it's not my internet, it's Katie's. I'm sorry, Davina.
Yeah, it's mine, Davinia. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Davinia. I know someone in real life called Davina. That's why I keep saying it that way, and I'm dyslexic. Oh, I've picked the wrong screen now.
Look, we want to put money back into people's pockets. They've been clobbered as well through council tax increases. In Wales, quite regularly, councils increase council tax by 6, 7, 8, 9% every single year. And we want to stop that as well. So we want to put money back in people's pockets so they can deal with the cost of living crisis that has been caused by the Conservatives and Labour.
What we're hearing here is a party of millionaires that work for billionaires, talking about cutting essential services, talking about public sector workers taking a pay cut. This is not doable. This is fantasy politics.
Your manifesto is a fantasy.
Let Anthony Slaughter continue.
Why is it fantasy politics?
I mean, it's always just waste, isn't it? It's always this undetermined waste. We're going to pay for everything. What that waste is, you're talking about cutting services for disabled people. You're talking about cutting services for some of the most...
Can I tell you what Eunice and the Union said about Dan Thomas's time running a Tory council in London? The record shows ideology sold as practicality, savings promised and not delivered, democratic scrutiny curtailed, workers left to absorb the consequences. That's the story of this Tory council.
That is an example of me. I'm the only leader on this panel who has cut tax, protected frontline services. When I was the council leader, I kept all libraries open. We refurbished leisure centres, and we delivered excellent services, and resident satisfaction went up. None of your councils have done that.
The voters obviously didn't agree with you. You lost one of the safest Tory councils.
That was because of Partygate, actually. Get your facts right.
If I can
with nothing to do with
your
delivery. I cut tax and I protected frontline services. I've got a better record than every single one of you when it comes to running public services.
If I can just be clear, look, Wales is not a council, right? We need someone who can run this country. And if there's one thing where there's huge amount of waste, it's the £120 million that's been allocated to more members of this Senedd, when the reality is that people don't want that. They want investment in their public services, in doctors, dentists and nurses. And that's the pledge that the Welsh Conservatives are making at this election, because we believe that we should be prioritising our public services, not wasting money on more politicians. That's the wrong thing to do.
And how much would cutting the Senedd help the NHS in Wales, in the real world?
Well, because it's tens of millions of pounds each and every year. Every single year from now on.
And
the Welsh taxpayer is going to be saddled with the cost at tens of millions of pounds of those politicians. But
cut out. Why are we not allowed to expand our democracy? Fuck you.
We wouldn't just stop there. We'd roll back some of those central bureaucracy costs. And in addition to that, of course, we need to get rid of these mini embassies in exotic locations around the world that
Here it comes. Canoes.
Government Labour ministers.
You make them sound like lavish things. They're usually one person sharing a desk.
But they cost £9 million. It's going to cost 40 million quid over the next Senedd term to keep those things running. That's a lot of money that you can pay for other things with.
Labour scoff at these savings, but actually, when you add them together, it amounts to hundreds of nurses that we could be employing. She likes to quote 0.1% of the budget of a £27 billion budget, but on the ground, it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, and it will employ nurses and put money back into our hospitals.
It won't keep the NHS going for a day.
No, but it will plug the gaps.
Look, for years and years, we've been starved of resources under the Tories, under austerity. What we did is to defend the Welsh people. We made sure we stood with them. We retained free prescriptions. You don't have that in England. We made sure that there were free buses for the over 60s, and we've built new hospitals. But if we get in next time, we're going to go even further. New hospitals, north,
isn't the
south,
truth that the
and
NHS
West
is
Wales.
one of your biggest failures?
Well,
it's one of the things people are most angry with you
about,
and they say that services here are not as good as they are a few miles away in England.
Well, do you know what? For 8 months in succession.
You know, the problem with Christian Murphy is when he's off screen, I can't tell the difference between his voice and Sargon of Akkad.
Oh, it is damn close, isn't it?
They've got the same voice, listen.
session, our waiting lists have come down because the taps have now been turned on. We can do that. We're addressing the issue. The plan is working. Now is not the time to switch the plan. And that's the danger you have supporting another party.
Why are waiting lists here so much worse than they are in...
Well, because we count very differently. They don't count
oh my God.
Are you denying that the service is not performing as well?
Spex.
I think there are aspects in Wales that are...
Oh, thanks for that. He does. Bad Spex. Bad.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
God, he does. He does sound like Sargon. Fucking hell. I never actually realised that.
I'm sorry,
obviously, we've known Chris longer. Obviously, he's been a journalist for.
Yeah.
He started at the BBC back in the late 80s.
Yeah.
He's the same. He's roughly the same age as Super Hubby. They're both born in the same year. So yeah, he's basically been in journalism for, God Almighty, 87 or 88, I think. He's been at
what
this.
Have I done on here?
Yeah, I never actually realised that. Oh. At least he doesn't say the same daft shit as Sargon, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That are performing much better. I think in primary care, I think we're better. In mental health, I think we're performing better. And certainly if you look at the support we give in communities in terms of pharmacy, you can get support for 28 different conditions in the community in Wales. You can get that support for about 7 in England. So we do things differently. We're trying to move into prevention and to community care, but we're also very clear that if we get elected next time, we'll give an assurance that somebody will be seen by a professional practitioner in primary care within 48 hours.
But you've had 27 years. You've had 27 years.
And we've had austerity, we've had COVID, we've had Brexit, we've had massive inflation. I had a bill when I was health minister for £80 million to heat hospitals that I wasn't expecting. That's inflation. You have to deal with that. You wouldn't know about this, Green, because you haven't run anything ever.
Well, I know that Labour runs the health service very badly.
That is the
problem. On doorsteps the length and breadth of Wales, people tell me they will not allow you to, in your words, write a new chapter. A new prescription is needed for the NHS in Wales. It is not one that can be signed by Labour ever again.
You're meant to be leader of the opposition. Your opposition has been weak. When you've not been in partnership with them, your opposition is appalling. You should have been pushing Labour to fix the problem.
You have been in London running a Tory council, right?
You've been in London letting Labour off the hook and letting services get that. If you were a good opposition leader, you would have helped improve those services.
With respect, you have no idea what's been going on in Wales over the last 20 years at all.
Yes, I do.
Just on the NHS, hang on, Dan Thomas, just on the NHS. Now, you have said that the NHS wouldn't change under a reform administration. In terms of the broad principle of the NHS. But obviously, Nigel Farage, the boss, has said that everything is on the table, including an insurance-based system. When you say we wouldn't change the NHS in Wales, you're beyond your pay grade there, aren't you?
No, I'm not. No, because if I was First Minister, I would happily receive the block grant from the UK government, and I would carry on funding the NHS as it is now. And actually, I would implement. I was about to say I would implement the Sloman Report recommendations as a starter to get the efficiency going.
Those are being implemented.
James
Targets in that report.
It's all being implemented.
Well,
none of these are original ideas.
What is your original idea for the NHS?
Well, on the doorsteps, we hear about the NHS virtually every single day, and Labour do have a very poor track record on the NHS.
Well, 8 months
we're very clear that we need to fund social care in order to help our NHS.
Correct, Reza. Dealt with. I'm liking that blouse she's wearing.
Yeah, the blouse is cool, but the necklace looks like a Christmas bauble.
Yes. Because right now in Wales there are 1,400 people in our hospitals who shouldn't be there. They should be at home, independent, with a sense of dignity. We need to actually help the front and the back door of our hospitals. So we want to fund social care better than it is now. And we're being really honest. You know, any party that tells you they're going to cut tax and going to protect our public services are quite frankly lying, because they can't do that. So we are being really honest. If the money isn't there from the Westminster budget, if the money isn't there from the Senedd budget, we will look at raising taxes, if we've got an influence in the next Welsh Government, by 1% for a fixed period of term in order to address the crisis in social care. I'm really proud.
I'm sorry, I just got to pause to highlight Bruce's comment there. Fuck me.
I love that, Reza. Reza, that is amazing. Thank you. I love it so much.
That's so good, my love.
That is good, isn't it?
Living.
Go on, Anthony.
Because I'm really despairing because the cost of living crisis is real. People out there are hurting. And they're not hearing anything here. They're hearing lots of angry people shouting at each other. We need to take immediate action to fix this. Now, we start from a poor position. 1 in 3 children in Wales living in poverty. That's the result of 27 years of managed decline. Austerity wasn't an accident. It was a political choice. Not tackling the inequality in Wales is also a political choice. That's why we're bringing in things like a rent freeze, giving people a bit of breathing space. People are paying over the odds rent for often uninhabitable homes, damp, mouldy homes. So we're bringing a rent freeze, followed by bringing in rent controls to make people's lives that little bit easier. We'd swap the unfair council tax for a land value tax, and we'd bring in free bus travel for under 22s and a £1 bus travel for everyone else. We've got to tackle these day-to-day things.
Can I just ask you, I mean, housing is your big issue in the Green Party. I mean, is rent control and rent freeze your red line for cooperating with Plaid Cymru in a future administration?
Well, I get asked a lot, as you can imagine, with the polls going up and down. I get asked a lot about red lines. I prefer to think of them as our green objectives. I've been quite clear on the campaign, on our messages. It's very obvious what's important to us. It is housing and protecting tenants. It is also cutting bills. It is also meaningful action on climate and nature. We're seeing backtracking from the other parties on this. So it's quite clear what matters to us. It's making people's lives in Wales better. So in 4 years' time, they turn around and say, Greens in the Senedd.
Can Plaid Cymru do a deal with the Greens when it comes to rent control?
We are very strong in our manifesto on the need to protect renters. It's something that Plaid Cymru has long taken a very firm stance on. We are looking at putting a programme together for government which absolutely gets to grips with those housing pressures that hit so many young people and families in the whole.
Do you think Plaid might do like a rent control or something in that sort of area? Do you think, and maybe get help from Anthony?
They'd probably do some sort of deal with the Greens to get that through. Yeah. And I mean, it depends how the maths falls. You know, how the maths at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's all down to May 7th. And whatever we find out on May 10th, more than likely, because it's going to take a while, I reckon there's going to be some recounts.
Yeah, well, this is the first time this system's getting used, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, ours starts on the Friday morning. They usually do the constituency vote. The polls close 10 o'clock, and they usually start the count the minute they get sent to the count. So they'll just kind of they'll still get sent to wherever they're getting counted. For us here in Glasgow, is the Scottish Exhibition Centre, which is right on the river, so just south of me, essentially. So, but they're not going to be starting until 9 AM on the Friday morning.
Yeah.
So and that's
they're doing the same.
It'll probably take them. So that's the Friday morning. They're hoping to get it all done and dusted by about Saturday afternoon. And that will include the list, the additional members system, the regional lists essentially. So by Saturday the 9th, tea time, we should know the makeup of Holyrood. It's going to take a while. The constituencies, they usually try to get that done rather as quick as first past the post. The counters are experienced essentially. So yeah. I think it's the same ones that they use for both, like the first past post, whether it be Westminster, like a general election, or the Holyrood. So it's the same counters essentially for the constituency vote. So they should be done and dusted by about maybe this time on the Friday night. There are 73 constituencies after all. Like take a bit. Yeah, I'm expecting it to be recounts there.
What's that?
I'm expecting it to be recounts down where you are. because new system.
Yeah,
no one, yeah.
And Reform are just going to be dicks about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Here that we need to prioritise over the next 4 years, and Plaid Cymru is offering to show the leadership in working with others where we can find common ground to get that done.
When it comes to housing, it's about demand and supply. And I'm really proud that we set a target of building 20,000 homes, social homes, in this Senedd term. We'll hit that target by November this year. That's an extraordinary demonstration of commitment at a time when inflation was really pushing up the prices. But it's also an economic development tool, and that's what I'm interested in. In terms of helping people with the cost of living crisis, what we need to give people is quality jobs. And we are committing to a lifelong.
All the new homes that I know that have been like finished are all in like the £300,000 range.
God.
Like 3 to 4k. Do you know, 3 to 400k. So yeah, and that's up here in the valleys. So
yeah, like most of the houses that ones that get built for like to go on the market and stuff, like some of them are actually under 200,000. So that's 1 and 2 bedroom flats. The thing that thing that actually affects the price the most is where it is, where it's got built. Essentially, yeah. Like the ones in the city centre, they're 1 and 2 bedroom flats, but they're in the city centre or in the West End, and they're all over 300,000 essentially, which is madness. But they're building other ones in overspill areas, like ones that are just outside the city centre, and they're starting at like 175 for like 1 and 2 bedroom either flats or 1 and 2 bedroom back and front doors in different postcodes just outside the city centre, which is relatively decent, I guess. Like most of your family homes are like 280 here in just outside the main part of Glasgow, essentially.
Retraining guarantee. So we're looking to the jobs of the future, an energy independent Wales, making sure that we have access and we're not buffeted around by global events in the way that we are today.
We need to get building more houses. That's the big problem that we've got in Wales. We've not been building enough.
Well, 20,000 isn't bad.
So we're building at half the rate that we were in the late 1990s.
And it's a damn sight
and there's nowhere near enough new properties available for those who need them. And of course, it's all very well talking about rent controls. Most people want to own their own home, and that's what we've got to make easier. And we've also got to bring in
the fucking housing ladder. Like, Jesus Christ.
What are you people not understanding?
Those empty properties, tens of thousands.
What are you not getting about rent control? Fuck's sake, Dan. You do the rent controls to literally as a cudgel, as a force for them to sell the properties they already have, so they go on the market and people can get a house, like get a mortgage, instead of just burning their money, giving it away to a landlord. That's the whole point. That's one of the main parts of rent control, you Tory wank. Is to force the landlords to sell up. And it's working. It's working up. It's working up here.
Yep.
Of them that are, an eyesore in many of our towns and many of our villages across Wales, which really need to be improved so that we can make them habitable again.
I'm going to move on to another issue which has really gripped people in this country, which is a very distinctive policy in the Welsh Parliament, and that is a default 20-mile-per-hour speed limit in all residential and built-up areas, now with some flexibility for trunk roads. Darren Miller, the statistics on speed limits are pretty common sense. They save lives, they prevent injuries. What have you got against
you could get rid
preventing
of
those injuries?
You could save even more lives if you banned cars, but it's not a practical approach in a nation like Wales, where many people need a car. It's an essential thing that they need to get to and from their hospital appointments, to and from work and their places of
20 miles an hour.
What I am not interested in...
There are families watching this who have lost people to accidents.
Is the anti-motorist agenda that we've seen, a war on motorists from Labour, Plaid and the Greens. I mean, the Greens want to reduce the speed limit further to 10 miles an hour. That's what their policy position.
That there is a real sense in Wales.
If you allow me to finish, Jane, what we need to think about is how many lives we can save if the 30-odd million spent implementing this policy had actually been invested in our NHS, in our emergency departments. There's an opportunity cost to every single spending decision, and I believe that would have saved far more lives. And we could have then targeted 20 miles an hour.
After they've been run over.
Yeah, there is a real sense.
We could have then targeted
Can I
20
come
miles
in?
an hour in the
There
right
is-
places.
There is a real sense that we're not looking at the evidence and the data, and that is really concerning. The data shows that over 100 lives have been saved, 700 lives are not being damaged, they're not going to hospital, and let's just look at the collision rate. 4% in England, 36% less collisions in Wales. Now, that is data. Can I just say one final thing?
You could have achieved those things.
If you live,
Jane,
let me finish. If you
Jane,
live,
you interrupted me, so if you'll allow me
I'm
to
going to
finish.
finish.
If you
live and
targeted
drive
20
in
mile an hour
Wales,
Don't both speak at the same time.
if you live and drive in
I'll let
Wales,
you finish.
you are now really used to driving at 20 miles an hour. It really is a change of psyche and culture.
You could have achieved most of that risk reduction simply by targeting 20 miles an hour around schools, play areas and accident hotspots. That would have made an enormous difference, a fraction of the cost. You could then have invested in our NHS
500,000
instead.
people signed a petition objecting to this,
Yeah.
and that's more people than voted Labour in the last Senedd elections. There is an electoral mandate to reverse this.
I hear this figure a lot. I hear this figure of the
and it's true.
petition.
You want to say you're listening to the people, but you're ignoring them on this. You're
Data.
ignoring them on
Can I just
immigration. You
clarify?
ignore them on the cost of
Data.
living.
Can we
the
clarify?
old parties are just ignoring the people of
Louder and
Wales.
louder.
Okay, hang on.
Can we
Anthony,
just clarify? There was that petition, and there were some very dodgy signatures on that petition from England.
Absolutely.
When they called, when the organisers,
90% were from Wales.
when the organisers called a big demonstration outside this building, thinking there were hundreds of thousands of people, 15 people turned up. It's easy
You're
to make
not
noise.
denying this is a very unpopular thing, are you?
It is incredibly popular. It is over. People know it works now, and as Jane says, people are alive now who wouldn't have been.
You
Krishna, I
want to
think it's
reduce the
important-
speed limit
Read
to
up
10
yours.
miles an hour, don't you, Anthony?
That's just where do you get these
Where
things?
do you sit on this? Would you keep the 20 mile an hour limit?
Yes, there'll be people watching this in England where there are lots and lots and lots of 20 mile per hour thinking, what on earth is the row about? I voted for it. I think it's a very good idea. But I tell you what, it was done incredibly badly by Labour. Plaid Cymru tabled a motion at the time it was introduced saying, Labour, you need to review this because it's been brought in inconsistently in some places where it felt unreasonable. So we sought a review because if it seems unreasonable...
So it should no longer be everywhere?
So there have been some changes already. It was in an industrial estate near where I live and it didn't need to be there. So there have been changes. It's a good policy done really badly by Labour, and it's a lesson for other governments as well in engaging with people on something that does affect their lives, but a good policy.
So what is your policy now? Is you want to review it?
No, we keep the review.
Or
has
you would
happened.
keep it?
The review has happened. I support 20 miles per hour. It's a good thing, but it was done very badly. And those reviews that we asked for have happened in many places. And where there are other places where this doesn't still seem right, well, we always can change, always, regardless of this legislation, speed limits as we learn more evidence.
I mean, the comms was badly happened. Sorry.
No, I think it could have been introduced in a better way, but we gave flexibility to local councils to determine where they could give exemptions. Some took up that opportunities, some didn't. But I do think it's important to recognise, I travel here on a weekly basis from Pembrokeshire, 100 miles. There's 2 tiny villages that I pass through in that entire area where there's 20 miles an hour. So I do think it's important for people across the United Kingdom to understand you don't do 20 miles an hour. This is across the whole of Wales. This is just in built-up areas around schools.
Okay, but the other big
One part of a wider war on drivers.
Well,
one part.
I wanted to come to this wider question of drivers and
I would
risks.
like
And obviously, a lot of people feel that
Yeah.
What bit's in Pembrokeshire? Whereabouts is that? Is that near
West
the coast?
Wales.
No, oh right.
Yeah.
100
Yeah,
miles
West Wales.
she drives to get to Parliament.
Yeah, it's Cardiff, yeah.
All right.
Cardiff's in the southeast, so, and she's like Midwest.
that you have not delivered on road building.
Well,
you know, there's some very obvious roads
we
that are really
have
bad.
just completed one of the biggest road development projects in Europe, the Heads of the Valleys Road,
Yeah,
which has taken
that way.
about 15 years. We've literally moved mountains to make that happen, and it will transform the economic prospects for people living in some of the poorest communities in Wales.
Dan
and
Thomas,
on top of that,
what are the roads you're saying you would build that Ellen Morgan would not?
Well, that's one road that needs to have happened. I'm glad that's done, but there are others. You spent £100 million building the case for the M4 Relief Road, and your predecessor then cancelled it. And while CBIS Wales says that the congestion on that road and others is stopping investment and growth in Wales and job creation, so we would prioritise building the relief road for the M4, and upgrading the A470 and upgrading the A55 North Wales Expressway. So we're very much we're pro build.
Spex?
He just named all of the roads around me.
Do they need fixed? What are they like?
A470 is fine. I mean, it gets congested in like when you're getting off at like Ponty and stuff, but like, the M4 is bad, but the relief road is going to help for 6 months, and then it's going to get congested again, because that's what the independent report that Labour spent 100 and whatever million on, like, said. So it's pointless. Like, it will help for 6 months, and then it'll flood, like all road expansion. That's because that's what road expansion does. You don't want better road expansion. You want better public transport links. You want links from the valleys into Newport. You want links, like better links from Bristol into Newport. Rail links, I mean. Like, you want like a proper South Wales metro that connects Newport, Cardiff, Swansea.
That sounds quite good. Like the main one up here that they keep on banging on about, that they use as a cudgel against the SNP, is the dualling of the A9. So, from like it's the M9 from Glasgow up to Stirling. Then once you leave Stirling, once you get north of Stirling, it changes to the A9, because there's only, most of the motorways are down south. They're either in the Central Belt or they're coming up from basically England up through the border and up to Glasgow. Or up to Edinburgh. So above Stirling it's called the A9, and the main thing that they've kept on trying to do, but they have to get the councils on side with it as well, is making the A9 a dual carriageway, and it's proving incredibly tricky because that is a bastard of a road. Like, lots of people have accidents on it. There's accident black spots that need fixed, so that's the one that they keep on using as a cudgel against the SNP. I didn't blame them. The A9 needs fixed, but trying to get it done is proving long and complicated. I can't believe they just mentioned all the roads around you.
£14 billion to...
What's that?
I can't believe they just mentioned all the roads around you.
Yeah.
To build 7 train stations.
No.
Most of those are not actually needed or wanted. We could easily divert money from that scheme to build the road. The money is there. If the political will is there to build it. No, I do understand. And
is that the reason they haven't happened? It's just money.
I mean, I think
because I thought it was also an environmental.
No, there's definitely environmental considerations. I think what we need to do at the moment is concentrate.
Newport is already one of the most polluted cities, like, in Wales anyway. Expanding the M4 around Newport and the Bringlass tunnels is just going to fucking make it even worse, especially when the congestion builds back up. Like, it's just stupid.
Right.
Well, Cymru welcome Sudan.
Trade on the roads that we already have, and that's why since I became First Minister, we filled an extra 200,000 potholes. That was what people cared about, and we've done
not what they promised in their manifestos over the years. They promised to
where do
build
you stand on the big arteries into Wales getting built?
I want the Welsh economy to flourish. I want, obviously to take as much traffic and freight off the roads as possible, but we still have very important road links that needs developing. And when I see other parts of the UK that don't have the economic disadvantages of, for example, the blockage on the Bringlass tunnels, I say there is a solution that's needed for that, which is about relieving congestion on the roads. But I don't support the very environmentally damaging black.
The Plaid Cymru did vote against.
As a future First
Minister, they did vote against
you say we should have a solution. Where is it?
I supported the Blue Route. £100 million plus has been spent by Labour on this, and we end up with nothing.
And what are we doing next?
We look for the new ones.
I'm going to wrap this particular discussion up.
You have nothing.
No, because we don't want to build it. We want to concentrate
after the break. What kind of Wales do they want to lead? From immigration to independence, what does each party say about the values of the Welsh nation they want to build? Now, Dan Thomas, you say you would go further to stop all asylum seekers coming to Wales. Wouldn't have the power to do that, would you?
Well, we could. So the UK government, when they're dispersing asylum seekers, if they were to do that in Wales, we could easily pass planning legislation to prohibit any building, hotel or HMO from housing a so-called asylum seekers.
That's not how planning works.
So no, it is. No, that
planning
is
about
no, that is
building,
planning is devolved. Sorry to remind. So planning is devolved to Wales, and the UK government cannot break Welsh law. So that can happen if we want to do it.
That's new.
No, so we can legislate for that. And we will resist it. This is a bit of a non-debate because there's actually right at this time there's only I gather 70 so-called asylum seekers in Wales at the moment.
And that's the
so why do you want to stop them?
So because the nation of sanctuary, this is all about fairness and how we spend our money as a government. What the Welsh people would like, and the reason why 49% of the Welsh people want to scrap the nation of sanctuary is because they want Welsh taxpayers' money to be spent on Welsh nurses, Welsh schools, Welsh hospitals.
No, this is spent on integrating people fleeing conflict, mostly Ukrainians, like 90% Ukrainians, helping them integrate into Welsh society by giving them English and Welsh lessons and other resources. Like, this is spending money on the Welsh people by aiding integration.
I thought I'd misheard earlier on. 70, as in 70. Is that all?
70. Yeah, that's it.
What are they moaning about?
We should be ashamed of ourselves. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Like, you know, you could fit that into a small function room. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. What is that? One street?
In like a community centre.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably take in a few more.
Right.
And we're the only party reform who's actually standing up for those.
And 67%.
It's all about fairness.
And 67% of the people of Wales told the recent poll that a reform government would be a nightmare for them. Yeah. And it's because largely the values that they see being put forward by reform are not ones that they recognise here in Wales. We saw it in the Caerphilly by-election, didn't we? As said so eloquently by one member of the audience, that her family of mixed race had been made to feel uncomfortable in their own community for the first time since reform turned up in Caerphilly.
And that lady is now a Plaid Cymru councillor.
Yes, she wasn't at that time.
That lady was a Plaid Cymru plant, actually. And talking of the pollstering, you're sticking in the momentum is with reform.
Fucking hell.
Right, so she's a Plaid Cymru councillor. Does that negate negate her in any sort of way? What the fuck? If she feels uncomfortable because your party's wanting to be more present there, I didn't blame her.
You're missing the point. She didn't become a councillor until after this whole after the Caerphilly by-election. She was non-political beforehand, and this whole.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Seriously, so she wasn't even a councillor when she said that in the audience.
No.
Oh, Dan, fuck off.
Yeah, this is like
ridiculous.
I think the Onion should sue because this is like taking on Alex Jones's shtick. This is Jesus.
Christ Almighty.
What we need, I think, in relation
to need to finish. That lady had no contact with Plaid Cymru at all.
She 1 second.
Well, okay. She had no contact with Plaid Cymru then. She is a Plaid Cymru councillor now. And what drove her, yes, was her belief in our positive values for Wales, but her anger at what reform had done to the community.
It was actually Keir Starmer's language before that by-election that inflamed the debate.
What we need is a mixture of compassion and control. And I do think that there's stoking up of the situation in relation to immigrants is not helping the situation. We rely on immigrants to help us in our NHS, lots of care workers, and I don't want to see our communities divided. In relation to, we do have this programme called the Nation of Sanctuary Programme. It accounts for 0.05% of the budget, and 95% of that budget is spent on trying to help refugees and people from Ukraine to settle in, teach them English, making sure that they feel welcome. So I do think that you know, there's a massive exaggeration, and the number of migrants in Wales is about 6%.
Darren, you want to scrap this as well, do you? What have you got against Ukrainian asylum seekers?
The reason we want to scrap it is very simple, and that is that immigration is a non-devolved matter. It's a matter for the UK government, not a matter for the Welsh Government. And
yes,
quite rightly...
But this policy is about what happens to people when they are in Wales.
The UK Government made lots of cash available to support the Homes for Ukraine programme and other
Don't you want them
programmes
to learn
support
English?
those Ukrainian refugees who came to settle here in Wales. And I think, you preach a lot as parties,
Don't you want them to learn
Labour and
English?
Plaid
Don't you
Cymru,
want them to
about
settle
needing
in?
to respect the devolution settlement. That's precisely what I'm on about. We need to respect that devolution settlement. Immigration is not devolved, and we could then spend the £68 million that's been spent on the Nation of Sanctuary plan on more
Anthony Slaughter, what does this say about the values that Wales would project?
The people of Wales.
Now that Reform are very much in the game and likely to be a big party in the next...
The people of Wales and the communities I know are better than this divisive rhetoric. And this is vulnerable people being used as a political football to score cheap points. And we need to remember that Darren Millar voted for the Nation of Sanctuary.
Yes, he did.
This is just trying to out-reform reform, and it's not doing anyone any favours.
That's absolute nonsense. And let's be clear about
it. You're on the record.
So the Tory voted for it.
My friend.
The Tory voted for it. What the fuck is he moaning about? God.
Yeah, he voted for criminal error as well.
Christ's sake.
No, they're just trying to out-reform, like punk right.
I'm glad their party's dying, I really am.
Yeah.
Being divisive. Your leader today said that he wanted to get rid of people with any right-wing views across the whole of the United Kingdom. That's what your Green Party leader said today.
I haven't seen that.
How intolerant...
What are you... Oh, right, that's the thing from Bold Politics, where he was... they were talking about English identity in that one. It was quite an interesting Bold Politics, actually, but the right have taken one clip of it and twisted it wildly out of context.
All right, so I'll need to go and watch that now and see what he's done there.
Yeah.
Is that?
You're spending a lot of time trolling us on social media,
Would you like to defend that?
I haven't heard the remarks.
Do you agree with him?
But ignoring the people's concerns on immigration, that in itself is divisive. Telling people that they're stoking fear is divisive. And I've been knocking on lots of doors across Wales.
Stoking fear. I'm sorry. Like, you are. As was stated, there were 77 people in the UK, in Wales, sorry, from asylum, 77 asylum seekers in Wales. Crazy.
To say that this kind of language and criticism about immigration is causing them a problem.
But you accept that immigration is not a problem in Wales in the way it is in parts of England, don't you? And that asylum seekers
what people say
aren't
it's all about
proportionally
fairness.
as big a problem.
They want
so why are you
fairness.
stoking this?
No, nobody's stoking anything. We're listening to the
you very
public who have looked at what's happening in England and don't want the same pressure on public services as what's happening in parts of England. And it's an issue of fairness and listening to the majority of the people in Wales. These parties are going to have a big shock on May the 7th.
Jane Dodd, are you part of that generation that isn't listening?
Once again, Reform UK are stoking up division, fear, and frankly,
or are they listening to a lot of people who have concerns?
I have spoken to care workers and people who work in our health service from abroad and living in Wales, lived here for years and decades, and they are afraid. And that is because of what you are doing and what you are saying. It is quite frankly shameful. Wales is a welcoming country. It is a compassionate country. It is a country that wants to care for other people and people who live in Wales. And that is the vision that many of us want to see carrying on in Wales, not Reform UK.
Rena Yorworth, I mean, you have a very, very different vision. A different set of values, and they do revolve to some degree around independence, and yet that isn't, you're not making it a big issue in these elections, are you?
What I'm making a big issue is...
When is the promise of independence from Plaid Cymru?
So, I believe in independence for Wales. I believe that Wales should be just a normal country. I believe in redesigning these islands so that we can work in a different way together to the benefit of everybody in these islands. But ultimately, the debate right now on independence is a debate on how we fulfil our potential as a nation. Now, Labour, Conservatives, Reform and the Liberal Democrats work very closely together to talk Wales down, to make sure that in people's minds they understand that Wales is hopeless, that Wales should know its place, that Wales should not aspire to more than we currently have. I am the member of this panel that believes Wales can do more. I say can, they say can't. I say open, they say isolated. They say dependency. I say let's decide ourselves how we can design a future for ourselves for the benefit of our children.
I think we all have to defend that.
Greens' push for independence will divide Wales. when we just talked about having a cohesive country, you want to bring a white paper and spend taxpayers' money on a white paper for independence, that will be a distraction from all the issues that we need to solve.
Well, we've just pointed out two big points of division. Just in the last couple of minutes, I just want to check. Is there anybody here who can say to voters now, I definitely will not work in any way with reform because I don't like their values?
Yeah,
I will. Just put your hands up if you will not vote. So four of you are saying you will not do any work with reform.
They're diametrically opposed.
Which of you will not work with Plaid because they want independence?
What about the Conservatives?
Just let me
they won't be there.
The only deal I want to make is a deal with the people of Wales, right? And I will work with anybody here if they want to deliver a penny off the basic rates of income tax, to scrap stamp duty, to declare that health emergency so we can fit child.
So is anybody saying that you won't do a deal with Plaid? The Lib Dems, you're happy, potentially?
We're really clear. We've put our red lines. If you're testing me on these, then I need a little bit of space to say we have said that all the money that we have here in Wales needs to go on public services. And we have said a red line for us, if we have those discussions with Plaid Cymru, and also we know the Green Party support independence,
but it's interesting, isn't it?
Well, it's very interesting, but I mean, if they come out with the most seats, and all of you gang up on reform, what will that say about Welsh democracy?
I'll answer that. Excuse me, he asked me a question. So the question here is, right, what kind of values do we have? What kind of future do we want? One party has to beat reform in this election. It can only be Plaid Cymru.
See,
and
this
that's
is
something
the nonsense. This is also a nonsense.
About his manifesto or his detailed policy is
not needed. We must leave it there.
It's the nonsense.
Thank you all very much indeed. We're out of time. That's it for this evening. We are back at 7 tomorrow night. Until then,
he's just letting them talk amongst themselves or shoot each other.
Yeah. Just carry on slinging mud, guys. I'm leaving. Well, yeah, I Punk Grandpa came across really well in that one. He got progressively better. Like, from the BBC one through to the ITV to the Channel 4, he did the best in the Channel 4 debate, I think.
Yeah.
That
was good. I'm glad I watched that one as well.
Yeah. Jane Dawes always seems to say the right thing, but I don't trust her.
Oh God, no. She does. That's the deceptive thing with Lib Dems. They do say good shit. They do say good stuff. No, like Alex Cole-Hamilton's been saying good stuff, but at the end of the day, both him and Jane are still Liberal Democrats. Yeah, so I wouldn't trust them as far as I could spit. Yeah.
Well, anyway, man, I am gonna leave it there.
So am I actually. I'm going to. I can't. Was it you, Davinia? I can't remember. I think it might have been you. For me to be able to read out on YouTube, I have to have 1,000 subscribers, and I am nowhere near that. So I apologize. Sorry, my YouTube comrades, because there's not 1,000 of yous yet. I just have to leave yous. So, but I will. I'll go in and I'll read out on my YouTube, on my Twitch, to see who's there and say hello to someone, and I'll go and play my game.
Right,
so
well,
thank you. Thank you, Spex. That was amazing. Thank you for your help.
And good fun. I enjoyed that.
And turn left. Scotland can never and should never exist again. What the? Seriously? He said that? Fucking hell, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Jesus.
That's mental.
Yeah, wild.
Bad
right,
Alex.
Well.
Okay. Thank you, Spex. See you later.
Good night,
Thank
all.
you for your help. Good night.
Much love. And
Bye.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye. Where are we? And call. That was okay. Right. There we go. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Oh my God. Cappy! Oh god. Oh, I forgot that. There we go. There we go. Video capture. There we go. Ah! Big kitty. There we go. Down it go. Doo-doo-doo. Up in the corner. Hello everyone. Thank you for this Welsh edition of the stream. So, let's go and say hello to... What the fucking... Titanate! Oh my god, how long has she been going? Please don't be going for long. Oh! Hang on, let's see. "41 minutes. She's only been going for 40 minutes, roughly. You not started yet? Ooh. I can't hear darling. Hmm. Oi, oi. Oi, oi. Right. I can't hear the output. Output?
Okay, I think I got
there we go.
it.
There we go. I can hear her now. I just needed to re-establish the...
Alright.
Right.
Come on. This is stupid.
Ah. Copy. Give me my copy. There, she's there.
Yeah, I know you don't like that link. Too bad.
Eight people. Nearly 4
Ace,
hours.
come
Wow.
on. Why are we doing this? Really? Why are we doing this?
Stay hydrated. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine. And laugh at reform. Or keep your fingers crossed for Keir having AC. Bye-bye. I do not relish who might be next, though, unfortunately. Please, for all that is good and holy in this land, please do not make it be Wes or Shabana. Catch us all later. Huh.
Okay. Oh shit!
Magic
Okay.
79 Scotia just raided with 7 views.
Okay, this is